Stand up!
Here we
New
go.
York Giant fans. Draft day is finally here. It's the fourth day we've been live on the midday stream leading up to the draft for you guys. We're going to be live on Bad Dogs channel. Bad Dogs is going to start at 7. I'm going to pop over at 7:30. And then we'll be live all day there. We'll come back over here for day 2, day 3. As we always do, it's going to be about 3,426 straight hours.
Yes.
Giants talk. Really excited. We're going to talk about all the potential possibilities. We'll do some mock drafts today, going over some of the various scenarios that we could see playing out day 1 for the New York Giants. But Bad Dog, are you ready?
I am ready to go. We've been waiting for this day for a long time. Like I said, probably for 6 months with us, because by the end of October, our season's shot. So we're just sitting there going, God, at that point in the season, we're just rooting for the Bears to lose so that we have a higher pick. That was really what our goal was. So we ended with 2 top 10 picks. Joe Shane, we're counting on you, buddy. Don't get them in us. Don't get them in us tonight.
You're one of the Shane trains, so we need him to get off on a good start, and we'll talk about what that good start we think is going to be. But thank you to everybody for being here. Let's say hello to a couple people in the chat. We got Giants Girl in Florida in here, Dyer Giants fan, Hot Nichols, MY Giants fan, JC Silva in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. Appreciate all the support that you guys always show. Afghanistan, Craig Robinson in the chat, Mike Gorg in the chat, Agitator in the chat, Mr. Mini Guy in the chat. It's okay, you're a Braves fan. Sean Torres in the chat, Alex Roberts in the chat, X-Man, what's going on, man? Orlando. Are you guys ready? NFL draft today. It's going to kick off in about, 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is. And we're going to find out who the New York Giants finally get with the 5th overall selection if they stay there. Who knows? Maybe they trade down. But let me just read Pencilman real quick. He says, finally, let's stop the guessing and get to work on rebuilding. Yeah, I'm completely with you, Bando. We've said it the last couple of days. My mind is done. It's shot. I'm done with the mock draft simulations. I think I've gone over every possible scenario that could take place in the top 4 picks and what the Giants could potentially do at 5 or 7. But it's the draft, and we all know, expect the unexpected. Who knows what's going to happen tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I already see conflicting reports in the chat. Mr. Anatana said, Bad Dog, shave, it's good luck. And I was looking to see who the other one, there was another one said, Bad Dog, don't shave because it's good luck. Or I'm probably going to be shaving. I will hit the gym today. We'll shower. We'll shave. We'll look all nice and pretty for a nice, pretty present under the tree. A couple of pretty presents under the tree. Let's put it this way, man. I don't want to be getting socks under my tree this year, right? I got enough socks. I want that nice new toy, whatever the hell, whatever, PS5, whatever the hell kids are playing today. I mean, I don't know. I want to, whatever. I want a nice new phone. I want a nice gift, right? I don't want socks. I don't want coal. I know, Santa, you and I don't get along. That's fine. But Joe Shane, I ain't done nothing to him. So no coal for Giants this year, please.
And I think Joe Shane will do the job. I'm not saying he's going to come up with your dream scenario, but I think there's several scenarios tonight that I think most Giant fans would be okay to very happy with, to ecstatic with. So I don't think people are going to be, I hope at least, are not going to be, throwing their remotes at the TV. Craig, thank you for popping in. I just saw this. Then we're going to get to a couple donations. I think that is what we're looking at. I think that is probably the most likely scenario. If it's not Saucy, could be off the board. Stingley, if they're going corner. If not that, Kayvon Thibodeau is a possibility. But I think we're looking at a tackle and more than likely a cornerback with the second pick. But edge is obviously still a possibility.
Definitely. And yeah, I mean, we've been pretty much on the same page this whole offseason. Got to fix this line. Both sides of the line of scrimmage. If like I said, man, you can get one of them tackles and Sauce or Thibodeau, to me, that's the perfect storm for us. You get an absolute elite pass rusher, you get a lockdown corner, and you get a bookend to go with Andrew Thomas for hopefully the next 10 to 15 years. And that's just the start of it. And then, of course, you'd have day 2 and you hope. And, of course, at the end of this, the end, I know we pick early, but you never know what's going to happen at the end. There's always could be trade ups, trade downs. So
I said it today on Twitter, and it's just a feeling, and maybe I'll be completely wrong. And I got a feeling we're making 3 picks tonight, Bad Dog.
Well, it's funny. I kind of have the same feeling.
Yeah. So I got a feeling, man, because I look at the back end of that draft, and everybody says, "Oh, the Giants can't trade up. Look at their salary cap." The difference between pick 36 and 29 is like probably less than $1 million. And then when you factor in the extra pick we'd have to throw in, it would even offset it even more so.
Right.
I don't, from a financial standpoint, I don't see that it should hinder the New York Giants. I think we're going to trade Bradbury. We can make some moves to get under the cap. If you really like a
They
player,
can restructure stuff.
yeah, if you really like a player, I think the Giants could go up and get him. And the guys I'm looking at as possibilities there are potentially Elam if we don't go corner, the guy from Florida. I think he'd fit our scheme incredibly well. He's projected to go into that 25 to 30 range. One of the three interior offensive linemen we've talked extensively about.
Yes,
Tyler Linderbaum, or one of the more prominent guards.
Oh, that would be the greatest ever.
Yeah,
Joe Shane would be the king of New York for a while until the season started. If he was able to pull that stuff off,
I'm not ruling it out. I'm really not. I think there's a dramatic drop off at the interior offensive line after those three players, by all accounts, in terms of the first round. So second round rather. So if they really like one, I could see them doing it. And I wouldn't rule out a wide receiver either for really good wide receiver drop. So I just got a feeling. I got a hunch. Call me crazy. We'll see tonight. Brandon, man, thank you very much, man. Let's go. Evan Neal season is here.
Do it.
And it seems like almost every Giants fan is on board with that. He seems to be the most popular pick amongst Giant fans right now, and hopefully that'll be the case. Blake, what's going on, man? Did you guys see the Jaguars report? Owner wants Hutch and Balky wants Walker. With the GM on the hot seat, does Hutch go number one? Yeah, I haven't checked the Vegas odds today, at least as of last night when I was doing my late chat on Twitter. Somebody told me it was minus 300 in Vegas for not Hutchinson, for
Walker.
Trayvon Walker. So he was the big time favorite to be going to the Jaguars at first overall. Maybe that has since changed. I am leaning it's going to be Walker, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but there's been a lot of smoke. Maybe there'll be a trade down. Who knows? But I'm leaning Trayvon Walker is going to be the first pick.
Yeah. Listen, that helps us because then, Hutchinson's going second, which means we're getting one of the three tackles, or we're getting that one of those elite defenders to drop the 5. So I actually saw, I look at a bunch of different mock drafts, and I can't remember all the picks, but there was some trade scenario where the Giants traded their 5th pick back to the Jags, and the Giants got like their second, third, maybe a second, third, 4th, 6th, and next year's first round pick from
the Jaguars 30.
They're like they're 36. It was like not 36. I'm sorry, 34. I think 34. Then like 66 and whatever they were. They were like, it was a high second, high third, high 4th, and then maybe like a 6th, and then next year's first pick.
So basically you're trading completely out of the first round, but by the way that trade could make sense, and I'm not in love with doing that, not getting.
I'm not either. I just thought that was an interesting.
But the way it could make sense, logically speaking, if you were to do something like that, which I don't see happening, but if the Jaguars wanted to make a move like that, jump all the way up, maybe get a high tackle to go along with their edge rusher, whatever it may be, to help pair with Trevor Lawrence, maybe get him a high-end wide receiver, whatever their reasoning would be to want to make a jump like that, the reason why it makes a good amount of sense, that first-round pick is going to be a top 70 pick next year.
Yep.
So you're going to get a high pick next year. You're going to be able to save a ton of salary this year if you're able to make a move like that. And you get a ton of mid-round picks, but obviously you'd be passing up on the possibility of getting a big time difference maker in this year's draft. I don't see that happening. I don't think we're going to make a move like that, but it's interesting to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Because again, next year if we're looking for a quarterback, Jacksonville's probably not going to be very good this year again. So, but yeah, I was like, because I looked at it and I didn't see the initial. Like their first round pick next year. I'm like, why the hell would the Giants do it? Then I'm like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. I still don't want to do something like that. I want our top 10 picks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Taco, I'm just going to read the members before I lose it. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. He says, hey guys, did you see the rumors that we might not go tackle round 1 and take one in the second? And I want Tibbs so bad. Who would be our second edge? Get cornerback later. Well, I mean, it depends on who's on the board. I mean, in terms of if we're going to take an edge in the first round, I haven't seen too many rumors. I saw that you showed me that thing on Twitter yesterday where they basically said the New York Giants are not going to draft for need at the tackle position. That to me doesn't mean that they're not going to take a tackle at 5 or 7, because I think BPA meets need with that pick, or it's damn near close. Because you could certainly argue that Ekwonu or Neal are top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 talents in this draft. You could even probably make the argument for Cross if you wanted to. And it seems like the Giants are high on Cross. So I still think we're going tackle. I would be pretty surprised if we don't. Yeah. In terms of the edge, I mean, I think the top 3 edges on most people's boards right now are Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Trayvon Walker. I think those are the top 4. And then after that, top 3 rather. And then after that, who knows? You probably Jermaine Johnson, but you could probably name a couple of other guys that you could potentially put in that 4 spot. But I think on most people's boards, that's the top 3 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agree. Of course, there's the rumors about Jermaine Johnson going to the Giants too. And I know those have popped up saying he fits Wink's scheme really well and all this other stuff. And that's what it is. You're going to hear a lot of rumors today. You're going to hear a lot of things. You're going to hear a lot of trade rumors and mock drafts and all this other stuff. And that's why the draft is great. We're going to hear all this, but we'll know pretty early on what the hell we're going to do. And we'll see how many of these pundits get it right and how much of it was just smoke. And like I said, hopefully Joe Shane isn't Gettleman us with a pick that makes us scratch our head and go, what the hell is that? I had enough of that over the last 4 years. What?
Yeah. Hopefully we don't leave the first round feeling that way.
Right.
MY Giants 26, man. Thank you very much, man. My girlfriend called me and said, "Happy draft day. You're free for the night, man."
There you go.
But have fun, man. True Rappers, man. Thank you very much, man. After I make me 3.0, the hearsay. Oh, I think you mean your mock. Yeah, your mock 3.0. The hearsay is done. Maybe I'm trying to pick up on that True Rappers. But listen. Once the draft kicks off, the mock drafts don't matter. Right. Everybody's opinions go out the windows, and anything can happen. We see crazy things happen in every draft, and I expect at least 1 or 2 surprises tonight.
Oh God, yeah, at least.
Michael, man, thank you very much. Would you flip out with Wilson at 7 from Ohio State? Yeah, I had a lot of people ask me that last night when I was on my Twitter live, and I've consistently said I do not want a wide receiver inside the top 7. I still do not want a wide receiver inside the top 7. I'm going to give my full opinion on it. Will I flip out? No. If the Giants do something like that, I'm going to try to make logical sense of it, even though it's not not what I want. But the way that I would make sense of it would be that Joe Shane is trying to help Daniel Jones and the potential future quarterback as much as he possibly can by getting the best available wide receiver in this draft, by getting the best available tackle in this draft. He's trying to help his quarterback as best that he can. Am I in love with the idea? No. And do I think it's very possible? It is smoke 100%. If you're the New York Giants, does it make sense to leak the information that you may be interested in a wide receiver? I think it does, for the simple reason the Jets obviously are hot on the tails of potentially acquiring a wide receiver. There were rumors that they were willing to give up a ton to get Tyreek Hill. So I think
Debo, I hear rumors about them looking at Debo now.
Debo as well. So if you feel that could influence the Jets in any way, shape, or form to potentially be like, listen, we may not be able to get our receiver at 10. Let's take him at 4. Or potentially incentivize the Jets to want to move up to 6 with Carolina to jump you to get a wide receiver. It could be a smokescreen. I think we have to realize that as fans, just because you hear that doesn't mean that that's what the New York Giants actually want. It may be what they want the other teams in the draft to hear.
Right. Because if the Giants have their eye on somebody that they like, that they think maybe Carolina would take at 6, if they say, well, we're interested in Garrett Wilson, maybe the Jets jump from 10 to 6, it wouldn't cost them. Probably that might cost them a second rounder to move up that spot, maybe second and a 5th or something. But then the Giants would not need to worry about Carolina going in there, taking Sauce, taking Thibodeau, taking Jermaine Johnson, if that's the route. Whoever it is, if the Giants have an interest in somebody that they think Carolina may take at 6, they might want to try to get somebody to jump up there and say, well, we're taking a wide receiver when the Giants have no interest in them. It leaves another player for the Giants. So this is all, it's chess. The NFL draft is all chess, and that's why we sucked for years, because Dave Gettleman played checkers. I don't even know what I think Dave Gettleman played Parcheesi or something. He shuffleboard, Chris. I can see Dave Gettleman out there right now. His sandals, socks up to his knees.
He's got Crocs on. I think he's a Crocs guy.
Okay, so Crocs and socks. And he's got the big boxers, like a size 52 waist. And he's out there at a shuffleboard and one of them sun hats. And he's just and I think that's what he was doing when he drafted. I think that's how he drafted for us, Chris. I think he had names on a shuffleboard. And I think wherever that thing landed, that was who he picked. I think
you're right. I think there's a high probability you're right on that. Chime, man, thank you very much, man. Tim got me on the Willis train. Sorry, guys. Hey, man, you're allowed to be on whatever train you want. And I know Tim's been propping him up since 2020. So we'll see if Tim gets his wish. We'll see if you get your wish. I think your train's going to derail at about 9:30.
I'd be shocked if we go quarterback. I'd be more shocked the quarterback than wide receiver. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Kevin, man, thank you very much, man. I definitely think it's the right move for the Giants. But how many teams do you think would say right tackle with a top 5 pick? I think plenty of teams could take. I mean, Tristan Wirfs went 9 or 10 or whatever it was to the Bucks. He played on the right side. I mean, if you feel if the tackles at right tackle or left tackle, both of them make a ton of money. Both of them are very important in today's NFL. Obviously, the blind side is thought to be the most important, but right tackle is very important, especially in today's NFL where teams move around their edge rushers more so than they did in the past. So I think it's really important. I think it's one of the more important positions, Kevin. I really do. So, yeah, I think most teams, if they were in the Giants situation, would take a tackle in the top 5.
Yeah, listen, they're all important. The entire offensive line is important. I mean, where did Quentin Nelson go? He went 6th, right?
6th, yeah.
So I mean, and he was a guard, and he went 6th. And a lot of people, would have said to the Giants, "Oh, that's too early." But then these same people were like, "Why the hell didn't we take Quentin Nelson?" So, to me, I don't know. I don't know how much I play into positional value. If you have a desperate need for a right tackle, you go out there and you get it. You get the best one that you possibly can get. It really depends on. I never understood the best player. The best player available to me happens after the draft. I think in the first couple of picks, your first round pick, you need to draft for your biggest need and get the best player at that.
But I think the good news here for us, Bad Dog, is they are probably the best player if Neal is there.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
If Aquanu is there, if they're not, they're in the top 2 or 3. Yeah. So it's
like
a perfect scenario.
Right, and we'll get them at 7 then.
Yeah, it's a perfect scenario, man.
Yeah.
Mini guy, man, thank you very much, man. Give me Thibodeau or give me death. He wants Kayvon, and he's obviously a possibility. We'll see if he falls out of the top 4. See if he falls out of the top 4. Colin, man, what's going on? Thank you for being a member. He says, thoughts on David Ajabo as a possible second-round target? Yeah, it's been a guy that a lot of people forgotten about because, of course, he had the Achilles injury. And a lot of people had him mocked to 7 with the Giants before that injury came out and was thought to be one of the top 3 or 4 edge rushers in this class. Now he's probably going to miss the season, if not the whole season, a good portion of it. And you have to ask yourself, as a Giants fan, are you willing to stash a player for a year? And I think it comes down to, how concerned are you that this could be a trend, that this could be an injury that re-aggravates? Right. You have to take that into account. You have to take the medicals into account. But if I'm the Giants and I feel David Ajabo has the possibility of being an elite edge rusher in the NFL, and again, he was a project while at Michigan. He didn't play that much up until the last couple of years while at Michigan, and he has a ton of athletic upside. And if you feel he could be an elite Pro Bowl level edge rusher and you're not too worried about future injuries, yeah, I think it's something that you certainly consider, at least consider at pick number 36. We're not winning a Super Bowl next year.
Right.
So I do think it's at least a possibility at 36 if he's there.
Definitely. I also think that Achilles tendon, you rarely hear about a guy tearing that again. Usually it happens once and it's pretty done. With a knee, you've heard about guys tearing the race. I mean, it happened to Beckham. It's happened to Adrian Peterson. It's happened to RG3. So you've heard about people, re-aggravating the ACL injury. You really don't hear about that with an Achilles. So, I was willing to take Jalen Smith a couple of years ago, even though he was going to miss a season. And I would do the same thing with Ajabo. I mean, if he's there at 36 and the Giants, like Chris said, the Giants really think he could be a future stud and he's sitting here at 36 and they say, well, why not make a move with this guy and we'll stash him away and we'll plug him in there next year with Wink Martindale's system and go with Azeez Ojulari and maybe Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, who knows? It's very possible. Is it likely? I don't think so. But I would have no problem if they decided to do that because that kid's was supposed to be right around a top 10 pick right around there. So if you can get him at 36 and you want to take the chance, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. But I'd be okay with a lot of things at that.
Yeah, me too.
Blake, man, he says, realistically, what made Tibbs fall from first overall? Just the fact he has interest outside of football seems like over analysis by teams. Another thing that you hear is a lot of, obviously as the draft approaches, people look at film a lot more. They talk about his lack of production last year at times. They talk about how he took off plays. And we'll see how these teams feel about him on draft night. I don't think that if he falls, it's going to be exclusively because of his lack of love for the game, like some people have made it out to be. I think it would be more than just that. I don't think he's going to fall too far, but at the same time, maybe there is some truth to some of the rumors. We're going to find out shortly. But this was a guy that was the consensus #1 prospect coming out of high school a couple of years ago. He was a guy that almost everybody had as the #1 overall pick, like you said, about 8, 9, 10 months ago. and he has since fallen. He had a little bit of an underwhelming year last year. I think he only had 7 sacks, dealt with some injuries. We'll see. We'll see if they feel the upside is worth it early on in this draft. But I think a lot of Giants fans will be really happy if we end up with him.
Yeah, I don't think you'd hear a lot of complaining at all. Jermaine Johnson did have a better senior year, but if you look at the body of work from both of those players, I think Thibodeau is the better player.
Yeah. Blake says, when do we have to get under the cap? I'm not 100% sure in terms of the exact date that we have to get under the cap. All I can tell you is a lot of these rookie contracts a lot of times extend deep into the offseason. I remember Daniel Jones hadn't signed his rookie contract until like a month and a half before his rookie season started. So I don't know. I don't know the exact date that we need to be under the cap, but I'm sure the Giants will find a way to do it. I'm not too worried about it. I also don't think it's going to impact this year's draft in terms of us having to trade down to be able to alleviate some cap. I think that they're going to move Bradbury, and I think that's going to solve a lot of it.
Yeah, I agree, and that could happen tonight. That could be how we end up with our. We could trade with the Chiefs. That's possible. Bradbury and our second round pick to move up to where are they picking 30th?
Yeah, I think they're in the 29 and 30 picks if I'm not mistaken.
So that's something that could happen. Bradbury in 36, and maybe you have to give up a fifth or a sixth, but something very late, maybe a future fifth or something. But
that makes the trade even make more sense because you kill two birds with one stone. Move up, you get a better player, and you shed yourself of that contract you've been looking to move on from. So I think a situation like that at least is possible. And it'll probably depend. A lot of these teams that are potentially interested in Bradbury, and I don't know who is and who isn't, but for teams that potentially are, maybe waiting until the draft to see if a cornerback they like falls there. And if they don't, maybe then they pick up the phone. They say, okay, now we're interested in Bradbury.
Yep, true.
So we'll see.
Good point.
Nick, man, thank you very much, man. Thoughts on Tibbs at 5 and Sauce at 7, trade up into the first for Penning? I'm not in love with Penning personally. I'm not in love with Penning. I think he's been a little bit overhyped by some fans due to the fact that he had, those nice clips at the Senior Bowl. I'm not in love with Penning, but again, I'm not an expert. I just go based off film analysis that I've watched, how he was projected going into the draft. I view him as a second-round talent. I would not be in love with that. I would be far from convinced that he would be a definitive long-term answer on the right side. I'm not in love with that scenario. If you got Tibbs and Sauce, of course, you're getting two huge difference makers.
Right.
But I don't even if they did that, I don't think I'd be in love with trading up for Penning in the first round. I don't think
Penning could even fall down to 36. I think that's a possible.
Yeah. He could go as high as like 15. He could go as high as 9. I mean, I've seen some mocks with Seattle taking him because they need a tackle, but that would be a bigger reach in my opinion. But I'm not in love with trading up for a guy like Penning. NY Giants 26. He says, let's go, Chris. 9 hours left. Let's go, my man. I can't wait for draft night, buddy.
Yeah, 8.5 now.
Let's go, man. Talking eco. I had a nightmare where we drafted a random tight end at 5. Well, that better not happen. And a cornerback, not Stingley or Sauce, at 7. I officially watched too much draft content anxiously. Yeah, that's true. If you got the Giants taking a tight end at 5th overall, you're probably you probably consumed more draft content than you should have.
Yeah. Maybe in the 5th round, talking eco. Maybe that's what your dream meant to have you doing there. It was in the 5th round we take a tight end.
Yeah, because that's a nightmare. Don't even bring that into the universe. Giant fans ain't gonna like hearing that. NY Giants 26 is hot take for fun. Malik Willis to Houston. Sneaky pick.
I don't know. Davis Mills was pretty good for them last year. So
it could happen. I mean, it could. They'd have to feel Malik Willis is an elite potential quarterback for it to happen. Detroit, people have talked about as a possibility at 2. I saw Brett Coleman, who I think does a great job on YouTube. I watched his mock draft last night before I was going to bed, and he had Malik Willis going 2 to the Lions. I don't think that's going to happen. I'd be pretty surprised if that happened. But listen, it's the draft. If you're in love with a quarterback, you're going to take him. And if any of these teams are, it's possible. I could see Malik Willis dropping as far as 20, and I could see him going as early as 2. He'll probably be somewhere in the middle.
Yep.
Cairo says, mid-season, other teams hoping for playoffs, and we look forward to the draft. Life as a Giants fan.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been since I've been.
That's the way it's been for 5 years.
Outside of the year where we almost made the playoffs, but even that year we only won 6 games.
Right.
So it's been a disaster, man. Let's see. We got NY Giants 26 says Giants are now being connected to JMO. You talking about the wide receiver from Alabama? we'll see. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors that the New York Giants could potentially be interested in taking a wide receiver. We'll see. It could be smoke. Like I said, my theory is potentially, if I was trying to create smoke, would be to incentivize a team to trade up above me to take a wide receiver, or potentially the Jets to take one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. If they get a wide receiver, listen, I will at least rationalize. Okay, they're trying to set their quarterback up as best as possible. They don't view Galladay as a guy that's going to be here much longer. Slayton, Shepard's had injuries. Who knows with Kadarius Toney? So I'm not arguing that wide receiver is not a need. I would rather go for a different position with that pick. But we'll see tonight, man.
Yeah, that doesn't make me happy. The thought of him taking a receiver in the top 10 doesn't make me happy.
I'm not happy either.
I can tell you that right now.
If they trade down, I'm more open to it.
Right.
If they trade down to, you say, the Saints, I'm at least more open to it.
Right.
Nelly, what's going on? I got to meet her at a Giants game. Hey, guys, happy draft day. So excited. And I'm leaving work early just to watch the draft with you guys. Let's go, Big Blue. Please don't mess this up. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Can't wait to see you there, Nelly. And I don't think they're going to mess it up, but they could.
No, let's hope not. No,
I mean, I just view the New York Giants of having so many needs, and they're picking so high. They could do so many different things where I'm not going to flip out. It's very hard for them to screw this up.
Yeah, I'm really not going to. I will not flip out. I mean, there's definitely picks that I can sit there and go, I won't be happy about. But
yeah, you won't be.
If they take Kenny Pickett, you're not getting the Daniel Jones thing.
If they take Kenny Pickett, you might get the Daniel Jones.
That's what I'm saying. If they take him, you're probably going to get a similar reaction.
Yeah, if they take
because there would be a similar situation. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know, if they take a wide receiver, I will not be happy, but I'm not going to scream and drop F-bombs.
I think I'd be a little bit shocked, but I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't be Daniel Jones level. Kenny Pickett would be Daniel Jones level.
Yes.
Nadsay, man. Thank you very much, man. Neil and Wilson for me. He wants the wide receiver. We'll see tonight, Nadsay, man. We'll see. Blake says, best scenario for me, Neil Sauce and Troy Anderson. Blake says. Okay.
Yeah.
Just get Neil. And I'll be much more relieved with our second pick. Misleading Story says, went back to finish my degree, so I haven't been around. Well, congratulations on that.
Yes.
Around as much as I would like, but I'll be joining the draft party tonight. Love yous, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your
everybody. Tell all your friends and family you got to come over and watch a draft with us.
It's gonna be on Bad Dog's channel day one, so definitely
you gotta watch a draft and get your alcohol ready. Get your food. We're gonna be there with you for 5 hours. And you can watch us either be extremely elated the entire draft and celebrating, or you can watch us deteriorate for 5 hours. Let's hope the first one is true. Pop some champagne with a good draft for once.
Let's go. Blake says, I'm an OSU fan. Personally, I prefer Olave. He's more like Justin Jefferson, whereas Wilson is like OBJ. Elite in space. I think Toney fills that role right now. Olave's more of the speedster. Well, both of them actually were really fast at the pro day, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think I'm in love with either one of them at 7, but
yeah, me neither.
Here's what I'll say: if you take a wide receiver at 7, they have to be. I'm pretty damn close to Jamar Chase for me in terms of production. Like they have to be top tier when you
game changer. It needs to be an absolute game changer. From game one.
Yeah, you factor in all the other needs on this team, whether it be the edge rusher, everything else. If you're taking the number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft class, he's got to be that level. And so we'll see. I mean, he'd have a lot of pressure on him if the New York Giants brought him in. That's for sure. Josh, man, thank you very much, man. If he gets Wilson at 7 and he's trying to make, I think he means DJ, more comfortable next year, but I want Neil Tibbs bad. Well, I think we're definitely getting a tackle. We'll see what we do with the other pick. But if he doubled up on the offense and got him a playmaker, that's what it's about. It's about Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones' potential replacement.
Yes.
Trying to give him as much of an opportunity as he possibly can. Pedro, what's going on, man? Hey, love from Brazil. You guys think Eagles trade up to 6 just to screw with us? Yeah, I was actually talking about that last night on Twitter Live as well. Somebody brought up the possibility of Carolina trading out of 6 because that's been rumored. And if Carolina doesn't win, they take a quarterback. That's certainly possible. There's also been rumors that the Eagles are looking to move up. They've got a ton of draft capital if they really want to do that. And the Eagles really need a cornerback. So if Sauce was there, or even Stingley, if they're really high on him, knowing that the Giants could very likely take a cornerback, I could see it. I could definitely see the Eagles doing something like that.
This is the thing. Like, how do people know what the Giants are going to do? And I can say this: maybe we did want Devontae Smith last year. It's possible we took Kadarius Toney,
Right.
so it is possible that they did. We don't know what the hell the Giants are going to do with that pick at 11 if the Eagles didn't trade up. So to me, I never know exactly what our moves are there. But if they trade a lot of draft capital, and they'd have to trade more than amount, they'd probably have to trade both of those picks. I would imagine 15 and 18 could get you to 6.
Yeah.
And they have the capital to do it. They have 2 first-round picks next year. But I have a feeling that if the Eagles did do that, Joe Shane's not going to panic. And we've seen Reese panic in years. We saw Gettleman panic when this has happened. To me, Reese was done in 2016. He got outworked by 2 teams. I know they wanted Leonard Floyd. The Bears moved up and got him. I know they wanted Conklin. The Titans moved up and got him, and we got stuck with Eli Apple. I don't think that's going to happen to Joe Shane. And even if the Eagles move up to get Sauce, there's other players the Giants could take at that juncture. And if they don't like it, maybe they have a plan to trade back at that point. Maybe they trade back with the Saints or something. They don't have a future first, but maybe the Saints give us their first 2 picks and we get 16 and 19. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that are going to go on, but I think I'm hopeful that this front office, that Joe Shane is more prepared for something like that to happen and has a backup plan. Whereas a lot of times I don't think Edelman did. I certainly know Reese didn't at the end of his tenure with some of the picks that he had. So it's always interesting, but I love if the Eagles do trade up. I know they'll just love to go, oh, we just screwed with the Giants. I want to tell them, why don't you guys try winning some damn Super Bowls instead of screwing with us? We're a terrible team. I mean, what are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. But I do think that's a reasonable potential trade. Ben Man, he says, I think the rumors about Jameson Williams are so that the Jets take him at 4. Yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier. And I don't know if that's the case, but I think it's at least a possibility. And of all the teams that are in the top 6, the reason I say the Jets is they're the most obvious team that could potentially be looking to draft a wide receiver. So we'll see. We'll see shortly. Just going to read a couple of these members chats. Meat Man, thank you so much, man, for being a member. Looking forward to all the content in the coming days. Hope the G-Men don't reach too far. Best available should be written on the board in all spots. I think a lot of Giants fans agree with you.
We do need best available in a lot of spots, but not wide receiver.
Yeah, for me, I mean, from my opinion, going into this draft you have to take a right tackle at 5 or 7, in my opinion. After that, best player no matter what. Best player throughout the rest of the draft. Really, not even dependent of position. Just take the best player on your board after that. We have so many holes on this team, and we got to fill them.
What if Malik Willis is the best at 7?
I would be surprised if he was.
But if he is,
then you take him. I mean, if Malik Willis is the best at 7, you feel he could legitimately be an elite quarterback prospect.
Okay.
If you have him that high on your board, you feel, and at that point, you take him at 5 because you don't mess around. If you feel a quarterback has elite potential, you just take him at 5. I don't think he will be that high, though.
I don't either. Just
yeah. But if he was, you take him. If you feel that highly about him, you take him. Rayman, thank you for remember for 8 months. Says, let's go, fellas. Evans first, then Stingley. I like him better than Sauce, in my opinion. Ray, I'm gonna tell you what, man. If you ask me right now, and I actually like Sauce more than Stingley, but if you asked me right now, I think it's very likely we end up with Stingley at 7 because I have the Jets today when I woke up this morning, and like all of us do when we wake up on draft day, you think about or at least I do because I'm crazy. You think about all the potential possibilities that could happen in front of your team, like we've been doing for the last couple of months. And my feeling when I woke up today was I think the Jets are going corner. I think the Jets are going corner at 4, unless maybe maybe that's what the New York Giants think, and maybe that's why they're trying to scare him into taking a wide receiver.
Right.
But I think the Jets are going corner at 4 because I look at that division. They got a defensive-minded head coach. You have the best wide receiving core in football in Miami. You've got arguably the best quarterback in football in Josh Allen with a high-powered offense. You got to be able to cover. You got the opportunity to take an elite corner prospect, and the Jets need help there. I'm leaning that the Jets are going to go Sauce, which would mean if the Giants want to go corner at 7, they would be left with Stingley as a possibility.
Right. Which again, I prefer Sauce, but I'm not going to get mad if they take Derek Stingley at all.
Yeah.
because we need it. I mean, Bradbury's not long for this team. So we're going to need a corner. We're going to need a lockdown, shutdown corner. You're taking one of the top 10. You're thinking that guy can be that guy. And it's a very important position in today's NFL, especially with a guy like Wink Martindale who likes to throw a lot of blitzes out there. You're going to need your corners to be able to play man coverage. So if they feel that he's the man, I don't have a problem. Again, I prefer Sauce, but if they go Stingley, I'll be happy. I'll be happy that they addressed that position.
Yeah. MY Giants 26 says back to the Gettleman slander. Gettleman was playing toss across. The only thing he went across was the buffet table. Seriously, Shane, I believe in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't want to jump the gun on anybody, whether it be Shane. I mean, I'm excited. It's a new regime. So I need to see results before I believe in anybody, but I'm gonna give him just as long of a leash as I did Gettleman. I'm gonna give him every opportunity to fail or succeed. And for me, that's 3 years with this team that he's inherited from Gettleman. And we'll see how he starts to build it this year. But obviously, he comes from a good organization with Buffalo, thought to be a really smart guy. And so far, even though it hasn't been much, I think it was the right approach. I like what he's done this offseason. He hasn't backloaded many contracts. He started to offload some of the guys that he felt weren't in the best interest of this football team long term. And unlike Gettleman's first year in 2018, he's not trying to do two things at once. He's trying to rebuild from the start, which I think with this team is the proper approach.
Yep, agreed.
Pencil Man, what's going on, man? What do you guys think about the OU linebackers, Benito and Asamoah? Both got speed and range. You're a good person to ask.
Oh, I love them both. I mean, if we don't get an edge in the first, if Thibodeau is not there and they don't go Jermaine Johnson or Trayvon Walker, if we end up going, say we get, Sauce, if somehow he falls, or they decide to go Evan Neal and Derek Stingley, and you got Benito sitting there at 36, I'm all for it. Nick Benito is a guy that is 150% all the time. Great motor all over the freaking field. He is athletic. He's quick. I really like him. Asamoah, I know what the deal is. Chris and I have done a lot of mock drafts, and I've done a lot of mock drafts, and Asamoah always falls down to like the third round. Yeah. I know why and again, it's a mock draft, so take it with a grain of salt. But if there was a way that they could get an edge rusher in Benito and a linebacker in Asamoah, me, I'm a Sooner guy. I would take them both. But I would not take Asamoah in the second. But Benito, to me, at 36 is good value. And, Oklahoma's defense is a lot better this year than it had been in previous years. And that's saying something because their defense is pretty lousy. But both of those guys are pretty good. I don't know if they're as good as Kenneth Murray was, but I do like Benito a lot.
Yeah, I think Benito, and when push comes to shove, I think there's probably going to be a couple players there that I like more than Benito at 36, just because I'm factoring in that there's probably going to be somebody there that I don't think is going to be there.
Right, that could happen
in every draft. But I do think Benito at 36 could make sense, and I think he's the type of edge rusher Wink would want. He's a speed rusher. I think he could be a good fit for this scheme. So I like him. I like him as a possibility if we don't go edge rusher at 5 or 7. I'm open to it. Want to say hello to Rob. Saw him in between super chats. Just want to give him a quick shout out. What's going on, Rob, man? Thanks for popping in, man. What are both your thoughts of the report saying Trayvon being Jags' #1 pick and other reports saying Hutch falling to 4? Could he fall to 5? I don't think Hutchinson's falling to 5. I don't think Hutchinson's falling past 2. I think it's too good of a story in Detroit. Exactly. And it's a huge need of theirs. And I think he's probably the safest pick in the first round of this year's draft. He may not possess the upside of a guy like Trayvon Walker, whose athletic, ability is off the charts, but he's productive. He's he's really good. He had a great year this year. He's a great football player. So I don't see him getting past 2 personally, and I definitely don't see him getting to 5.
Right.
As far as Trayvon, I believe it at this point. And maybe it'll be a smokescreen tonight, but I'm bought in. I was bought in a couple of days ago that Trayvon Walker is going to be the first pick to the Jaguars.
Definitely possibility. So you'd have Walker, Hutchinson, and then you're probably going to have one of the tackles. Then you're probably going to have Sauce.
Houston could go so many ways. They could go tackle. They could go corner. They could go edge. They go Kayvon Thibodeau. Houston and the Jets to me are wild cards. Yeah. I'm leaning corner for the Jets though. Now. Houston, I'm not sure, but I'm leaning corner for the Jets right now.
Yeah.
John, what's going on, man? Sup, Chris and Bad Dog. Do you see Shane trade back with Seattle with the #7 pick if they offer #9, 41st and 109? Bad Dog, how do you feel about the Rangers losing on purpose to face the Pens? I'll let you answer the Ranger question first.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have played against the Pens well this year, but it's the playoffs, man, and that'll be a hell of a series. I mean, obviously, a couple of rivals going at it, and the Rangers. I thought for a minute we were beating the Islanders, and Carolina was losing to the Jets, and I said, man, we're going to win the Metro, and then all of a sudden, Carolina got red hot, and then of course, when we lost Carolina, that was kind of the end of it. But hey, if the Rangers think that they can beat the Pens, I don't give a damn. If you want to lose to get into position for the playoffs, I don't give a damn. We still have the home ice advantage. Let's see what happens. I'm excited for Rangers playoff hockey. I'm always excited for any team in New York that makes the playoffs because it doesn't happen very often. So I don't have a problem with what they did there.
Yeah, and as far as your first question, John, it depends on who's on the board at 7 for me. If Sauce is at 7, I'm not making that trade. It's not for me. It's not worth dropping 2 spots to pass up on the guy that I feel is probably the best fit for our defense currently in this year's draft class. Even if Kayvon Thibodeau was there, if I'm the Giants and I want to take him, I'm probably not trading down. If I'm not, head over heels in love with a prospect at 7, and I got 3 or 4 kind of coupled together, and I could get a second round pick and drop back to 9 and save a little bit of cap space. Yeah, I could see that making sense, but I think it's all dependent on who's on the board at 7 for the Giants.
I agree. I think a lot of the trade back scenarios will depend on who's available for the Giants. But if the Giants don't like anybody at 7 and they can get 9 and 41, yeah, I definitely would be doing that.
Yeah, it depends on their board and how high they feel about the guy that's there as opposed to the guy that they could potentially get at 9. RK, man, what's going on, man? I think offensive tackle and edge cornerback will be at 5 and 7.
Let's go. That's my dream scenario.
Yeah, I just think, I agree. I think that's what's going to. I'd be pretty surprised if that was not the case tonight. If we didn't get one tackle and a defensive player at one of those 2 positions, I'd be pretty surprised. Karan, man, he says Eagles will take Jordan Davis and Trent McDuffie. That's if Jordan Davis gets there. But I'm a big fan of his, man. I could see Jordan Davis even going as high as 8. I'm not saying he's going to go there, but I'm a big fan of Jordan Davis. I know he plays D tackle. That guy is a specimen. I like him a lot, and I'd be pretty pissed if the Eagles got him. But the Eagles are known for really valuing that interior defensive line position. They spent a ton on the guy they got. I think it was from the Steelers a couple of years ago in free agency, of course, Fletcher Cox. But Cox is getting up there in age.
Yes.
So I could see that being a guy that they could look for to be part of the future of that football team.
Without a doubt.
And McDuffie makes sense too if he's there, but I don't know if he will. But he could be, certainly could be. A lot of people think McDuffie could go to Minnesota at 12. They need a cornerback. But yeah, I could see a double defense for sure. Sean says pros, cons to Sauce Gardner.
Pros, size. He's definitely a big corner. He's fast. His cons, he could be a little handsy.
Yeah, that's the book on him. He could be a little handsy. Also, I guess if you want to really be nitpicky, you could say that he went to, he didn't go to a power conference, like in terms of like the SEC. Yeah, I guess you could try to argue that, he didn't go up against the top of the top. So I guess those are some of the talking points that people bring up. But his size, his speed, his arm length is off the charts for a cornerback as well, which is important. You go back to the Seattle Seahawks, that was kind of what they were famous for. They would always draft cornerbacks with really long arms when they had Billy G. Boom. And for a guy that has his physical traits to be able to move the way that he does, it's not a once every year type cornerback prospect in terms of his athletic ability. So I think that's why people like Sauce as much as they do. And he's a man press cover corner, something that in the type of defensive scheme we're going to be running is what you're looking for. But yeah, I think you hit it on the head with the handsy. I think that's what a lot of people bring up.
That's the biggest con on him.
Yeah. Let's see. Chriselle, what's going on, man? Happy draft day, gentlemen. New era starts tonight.
Let's go.
Chris, man. Let's go, man. Can't wait, man. Thank you so much for being here. I see Jai in the chat. What's going on, Jai? Good to see you. She says Justin Ross. Maybe later you take a flyer. He's had injury problems, but maybe later you take a flyer.
Yeah, again, 2 years ago, you would have said that guy would have been the best receiver in this draft class. And it's amazing how injuries kind of derailed Justin Ross. He was incredible at Clemson. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've taken him. I don't think we've taken him in one of our mock drafts, but he seems to fall down to like the 4th, 5th round. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely if the Giants want to take Justin Ross and took a flyer on him in the 4th or 5th round, I probably wouldn't not have a problem with that. Because I mean, his talent's there. I don't know how bad that injury hurt him. He didn't have the best year last year, but he also didn't have Trevor Lawrence throwing him either. So take that for what you will. He had the ukulele fire into him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people a lot of Giants fans have brought him up as a potential late round flyer.
Yeah.
Keith, man, what's going on, man? Morning, gentlemen. You guys peep any potential
Who came in, as the Stooges would say, gentlemen, who came in?
And Keith, we're going to go over all the potential tight ends. We're going to do a mock draft probably in about 20 minutes because we're going to do a couple of them. But there's a lot of tight ends that I think the New York Giants could be looking at in the 4 to 5 round area. But I'll go over it. I'll talk about some of the guys. But Woods is a guy you've heard a lot about. He's gotten a lot of press that the New York Giants have potentially been interested in. They brought him in for a visit. Otten's another guy. I want a well-rounded tight end. That's what I continue to say when people ask me. I want a guy that can block. For sure. I don't want to go down that Evan Ingram road again, especially being that the 2 tight ends we've brought in so far, even though they're not going to be long-term answers regardless, with Seals Jones and the guy we got from Houston, neither one of them is known to be much of a blocker. So I want a well-rounded tight end if we're going to be taking one in this year's draft.
Yeah, we took Woods in the 3rd round in our mock yesterday. We got a D-, I think, for that pick. And it's funny, I was looking at a mock draft and I sent it to Chris. I said, look at this. I said, somebody mocked Woods to us at 81. I go, didn't we get like an F or a D- for that?
I think it was like a D-, yeah.
Right. Somebody else also mocked him there. So you never know. But that is the earliest I would want a tight end is pick 81. I'd rather wait till like the 4th round or.
Yeah, ideally 4th round. I think that's the hot spot for me, round 4. Because there's so many pretty good ones you could get. IJ, man, thank you very much, man. Scenario, you guys are Dave Gettleman. Who are you drafting? I mean, what, are you asking me who I think Dave would draft this year?
I think so.
Who the hell would Dave? I have no idea who he would draft.
I would say this. I think he would draft Cross.
I think he would take a tackle. I'll say that. I think
he would take a wide receiver. I think he would take Garrett Wilson.
Because it makes sense because Daniel Jones, right? Because he would be even more incentivized than Joe Shane to really help out the offense as best as he can, right? Because that's his baby. That was his quarterback. That's what
that would be my pick.
I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. I think it would be a tackle and a wide receiver if it was Dave. I don't know which tackle, but I think you're probably right. Diego, man, thank you very much, man. Stand up, New York Giants. Today is the day, Chris, man. Thank you so much for popping in, Diego, man. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we get our guys, man. Evan Neal, fingers crossed. Josh says, nah, I meant CJ Stroud. I didn't know what initials you meant earlier. You meant CJ Stroud. All right, I apologize. I misinterpreted what you said. CJ Stroud, I've talked about it. I know Bad Dog doesn't like Ohio State quarterbacks, and my opinion may change. We still got a whole year of college football. I've started to dive into the quarterback prospects. I'm a big fan. He looks really good. He's got really good footwork, really good mechanics. He's got a big arm. I like him, but we'll worry about that next year, and hopefully we don't have to. Hopefully Daniel Jones balls out, but if he doesn't, he's certainly a guy I got my eye on.
I just again, Florida, because there's talk about Anthony Richardson as well. Florida, Ohio State, USC. Although, see, now if Caleb Williams, in a couple of years, if we needed a quarterback and Caleb Williams, there may be a different story because he's from Oklahoma. That may be different, but we'll see. Listen, one of those Ohio State quarterbacks has to produce eventually. So I can tell you this. Going in, I don't want to get into next year. We haven't got through this year yet. But if the Giants were picking top 10 again and they wanted a quarterback and CJ Stroud is there, I'm not going to sit there and go, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I would understand it.
Yeah, and they listen, like you said yesterday, Sam Howell was the guy last year, right? That going in, that a lot of people thought would go high. It changes throughout the college season. So let's see what happens.
It definitely does.
Why is South of Heaven keeps getting blocked? He must be.
It's just somebody spamming with a bunch of different.
Oh, okay.
I
appreciate my mods. Thank you guys. Octave says, happy draft, miss fellas. Neil Cross at 5, Gardner or Stingley at 7. Leo in the 2nd. Yeah, I think I saw Bobby mocked him. I think he actually mocked him in his 3rd. I was watching his mock draft yesterday. Leo Chanel, I think you're referring to. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I personally don't think he's getting to the 3rd like Bobby had him in his mock draft. But yeah, that's what I've said all along. That's what I want. I want one of those tackles, and so is Gardner. I really don't. I'm starting to. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic and not trying to get my hopes up too much. I don't think Sauce is going to be there at 7. I think the Jets are going to take him.
Yeah, but that scenario is my favorite. The one
Yeah.
that was just there, without a doubt.
And Welke says the Giants have messed up the first and second rounds over the past decade. Would you rather stay put or move back with 5 or 7? The Bears are in the same boat. I mean, it's a new GM, so I don't put too much stock into what we've done in the past. And now
Right.
this guy may suck too. I don't know. But I'm going to give him the opportunity. So I'm not going to put too much stock into what we've done in the past. As far as staying at 5 or 7 or trading down, I mean, listen, no matter who the GM is, you always listen. And if you get blown away and it makes sense, yeah, you're open to trading down. But I'm not trading down just to trade down. And we need as many cornerstone pieces as we can. And I think it's going to be hard for the Giants to screw this up. They may not get the dream guys for a lot of people in this chat, but I think they're going to get 2 impact players at 5 and 7. And as long as they do that in this draft at 2 important positions, I'm going to be a happy man.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, Wilkie, to me, they're going to keep one of them. They obviously wouldn't trade them both. And like Chris said, this is a completely new GM, new regime, new front office. They're going to go in a new direction. But if there's a guy there at 7 that there's not really high on, if there are prospects that they like at 7 are gone, and they could get a good opportunity to trade back and get more draft capital, then if they think that that's the best case scenario to help build a team, I think they'll do that. But definitely keeping one of them. We're not going to trade both of them back. And to me, I'd rather just keep them both and hope that they nail these picks. It's very rare that you get 2 top 10 picks in the same year.
Yeah,
very often.
And I don't want to pass up the opportunity. I think last year a lot of us regretted that the New York Giants traded down. So if you love a player, just take them. Let's see what we got. Nunez says thoughts on Kyle Phillips, wide receiver out of UCLA. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't done a ton of research into him. I've seen him. He typically goes in like the 5th round in a lot of mock drafts. I haven't looked too much into him, if I'm being completely honest. That's not a guy I've really looked at. But if we draft him, I will. I'll look a lot into him, but I have not looked into him, to be honest with you.
I think he's more of a slot guy, but again, I don't know much about Kyle Phillips.
Yeah. And I don't know why. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys blocking these guys. We're going to get this a ton tonight because you get people that don't have lives that are going to come in and say spam. So I appreciate it. Nunez says thoughts. Oh, I already read that. Nelson. Hey, Kevin, what's going on with our Yankees? I mean, you guys are winning, aren't you?
They're playing well. Won 7 out of 8, won 5 in a row. Last night, a nice mix of big ball, small ball, solid pitching. So you win games in Major League Baseball, not just by home runs, but a little hit and run, some stolen bases, a sac fly by Giancarlo Stanton. They, bullpen pitching well, starters pitching well. So you win games. 12-6. That's what's going on with them. They're playing good baseball right now.
Yeah, you should be happy if you're a Yankee.
Yeah, exactly.
Jai says, I think that's a potential. I think we'd have to trade up, like you said, late 1st round. But yeah, him or one of the guards. I think I would love to potentially land one of those guys.
That'd be the best thing ever for me. That's my dog right there.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting to 36 though, like we've talked about.
I don't think so either.
Davey says Neil Thibodeau, Leo Chanel, Giants are back. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. We would need some help in that secondary at that point, especially if we lose Bradbury. But it would be a step in the right direction.
Yes, for sure.
Chris says feels so amazing to not be led by Gettleman Judge Clown show anymore. I actually have hope for the future again. Hey, it's a fresh start, and going to give these guys as much of a opportunity as I can, at least as a fan. I'm going to give them 3 years and see where they could take us. So I'm excited about it, and hopefully they finally get us out of this hole.
Yeah, that clown show gone. They packed up their big top and moved somewhere else. Thank God. Thank God.
Sports fan, what's going on, buddy? The buzz is Stingley at pick 7. Jabo in the 2nd, Neil at 5. I've heard several different buzzes, so I don't know what B you're listening to. But I am starting to believe that Stingley's a strong possibility, like I said earlier, because I think we're going to go corner. That's where I think we're probably leaning. And I am starting to lean that I think Sauce will be gone, which means Stingley's a possibility. Of course, it depends how high we are on Stingley. And you've also heard rumors that Houston could be interested in Stingley at 3. So we'll see how it all plays out on draft night. But would I be surprised at this point if we take Stingley? I would not.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
if Sauce was gone, it definitely would not surprise me. If Sauce is there and they went Stingley, I might be a little bit more surprised. But if Stingley's the guy on the board at 7, not a shock. I would actually be expecting him to take him at that point.
Yeah. And Rudy, what's up, man? Thank you for being a member. He says, hope you guys didn't forget. No, of course not. This old guy been busy with work, but always catch the both of your videos when I can. Trust you're both well. Let's go New York Giants. Good to see you, Rudy, all the way in Arizona, man. I hope you're doing well. He's the man, dude. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Rob says chances are Walker or Tibbs will be there at 7.
Walker, no.
I'm Rob. I am fully bought in that Walker's going 1. So I'm going to say 0%. I'd be very surprised if Walker's there.
Thibodeau, maybe.
Thibodeau, I think there's a legitimate chance. Thibodeau, I think. I'm at least 35-40%. I would say.
I can tell you, Walker definitely won't get there at 7. I guarantee it. Reason being, if he's there at 5, I think the Giants would take him at 5. I don't think they'd let him get to 7.
Thibodeau, I think there's a chance. I'm not.
Yeah, I do
don't,
too.
I'm not saying like I think it's going to happen, but I think there's a. I would not be surprised if he's there. Walker, I don't think will be there. LA Yankee King, what's going on, man? My dream draft is Neil Icky at 5, trade back with 7 with the Eagles. Not happening.
Yeah, I don't think we trade with the Eagles.
I've had a lot of people bring up this possibility to me because they've heard the rumors about the Eagles potentially looking to trade up, and they saw last year that the Eagles traded with somebody from within the division. But Bad Dog, that was a perfect storm. That was a scenario where the Dallas Cowboys knew that Devontae Smith more than likely was going to go to either the Giants or the Eagles. So they said he's going to end up in the division anyway.
Yep.
Let's trade down. Let's get some more draft capital. Traditionally speaking, teams don't look to trade from within division. I don't think the New York Giants are going to try to do the Eagles any favors for them to potentially trade up. And let's just say the Eagles did it to get Malik Willis, which I don't know if they would or wouldn't. It would probably be for a cornerback. But let's just say they did it to get Malik Willis, and Willis turned out to be an elite quarterback. You know how bad that would look for the New York Giants.
Right.
So I don't see that being the case at all. I think last year was a rare circumstance. I don't see the Giants trading from within division. But
that would be tough. Because teams don't want to help one another in the division. So yeah. I think if the Eagles are going to trade, they would trade with Carolina. I think they would, like somebody mentioned earlier, I think they would intentionally try to get ahead of us to take a player that we wanted. And they would probably have to give up about the same amount that you just, put there for the Giants. So if they were going to make that trade at the game, I think they would try to make it with the Panthers and not with the Giants. But yes, I would love Tyler Linderbaum. Trust me, I am a Linderbaum guy. I've been a Linderbaum guy since the beginning of the college year.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, next time I will make it subscribers only. So hopefully that helps this. I didn't even think about it, but it is what it is. I apologize if people are getting annoyed in the chat. I keep seeing people spamming over there. The guy, man, thank you very much, man. If Carolina wants a quarterback, so bad, why don't we trade down a pick and get a future first and take Willis at 6? If Carolina wants a quarterback so bad, why don't we trade down a pick and get a future first and take Willis at 6? I mean, if we wanted Willis, we would take him at 5.
Yeah.
I don't see us trading down to take a quarterback. I don't see us trading down to take a quarterback. And who's to say if we were to trade with Carolina, they wouldn't take Wilson 5. So if we really want a quarterback, we're taking him at 5.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're taking one. So, that's my opinion on that. And if you commit yourself to the amount of money that a quarterback makes at 6th overall, you're not taking a quarterback in the next draft. You're just not. This is not a situation like the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals brought in a new coach the next year with Cliff Kingsbury. We're not doing that. Joe Shane picked Brian Dable. He is going to be here next year and probably the year after that. So if they love Willis, they're taking him at 5. They're not going to get cute. They're taking him at 5.
Yeah.
John, man, thank you very much, man. Take tackle at 5, Neil Aquanu Cross, and trade to 7 to New Orleans for 16 and 19, and their 2nd and 4th. And at 16 or 19, take Kenyon Green or Zion Johnson. That's a dream for me. I mean, you get an interior offensive lineman. Yeah. I'd be happy with that for sure. Let me, it's too late, but whatever. Let's go to the next. Trying to keep up with the chat, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. Hope you guys are excited about the draft. Skywalker, can't wait for us to take Cross over Neil. Shaking my head. A lot of people believe this is going to happen. And I don't know if it's smoke. I don't know if it's legitimate. The Giants have shown a ton of interest in Charles Cross. We'll see. He's supposed to be the best pass protector. You figure the New York Giants are going to, have an offense that's going to pass a lot. So maybe that'll have something to do with it. We'll see. I'm prepared for it. I'm not going to be excited if they do it. I'm not going to be upset if they do it. I'm not going to flip out, I should say, but I'm prepared for it. And if they, I know a lot of Giants fans will probably flip out if it does happen, but I will not.
Yeah, I'm not going to flip out. If Charles Cross is out of the 3 big tackles, he's my least favorite. But again, man, I don't know what system Dable and company are going to run. If they feel that Cross is the best to fit their scheme and their system and what they want to do offensively, I'm going to get on board with it. It doesn't matter how good the guy was in college. It doesn't always translate to the NFL because a lot of guys sometimes are the best player, but they go into a scheme that's really not, does not accentuate their positives and put them in the best situation to succeed. So if they feel Cross is that guy and he'll be better suited to play right tackle for the New York Giants as opposed to Evan Neal, I got to trust them. This is their first year. So they have no track record. Brandon Brown and Joe Shane, they don't have a track record. So we have to give them a chance. And, if they have a couple of really bad years like Gettleman did, then all of a sudden you're going to, start to feel the wrath of the Giants fans. But we have to see what they do, and we have to hope that works. But we'll know, and no matter what they take tonight, no matter what they do over this weekend, we won't really know what that means for us until we see them play in a field. And then we'll have a better idea of what this draft meant for us.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing. You're going to get drafted. You're going to have your opinions, and then we're not going to know what they are for another 5 months.
Yep. And Tay, man, thank you very much, man. You guys rock. Here's to a good draft, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate all the support, man. I really appreciate it. British, what's going on, Bad? How do you? I'm gonna just go in here because it's pissing me off. I keep seeing the spamming.
Yeah, do it.
How do you? I don't even know how to do it. How do you go in there and put in the slow?
Go to customization.
Oh, customization. That's where it is. Okay.
And then just scroll down, and you can
subscribers.
Yep.
And then slow mode. We're gonna put on slow mode because we'll put on 60 seconds, so that way they can't keep doing this, and hopefully that fixes the problem a little bit for you guys. So apologize. You get people that are jerks, but there you go. We got the slow mode on. British, man, what's going on, man? Draft day. Let's go. Can't see how this goes bad for us today unless we try to get cute with trades. Hopefully right tackle and a stud on D. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like, realistically speaking, that's my biggest worry is just that. We get too cute. We make a trade where we don't get the value that we should, and we trade out of getting a high impact player. That would probably be my biggest worry tonight for the New York Giants. That's it, probably. That would probably be my biggest worry.
Yep. Yeah. No getting cute. Do what you got to do. Take care of business. Business.
And Adam Troy, man, what's going on, man? Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau tonight. Stand up. What's going on, man? Adam, man. And
listen, one of my favorites, Adam. That's one of my favorite scenarios.
And we're going to go over that scenario in a couple minutes. Let's see. Sam, man, what's going on, man? Giants draft a Reza in the 4th. I'm going to disagree with you on that, Sam. Sam. I know he's incredibly talented, and I would be I would love to get a weapon like that. I am not going to be on board with all the needs that this team has with taking a punter in the 4th round. I can't get on board with that.
No.
I've seen Giants fans talk about it. They would, because that's probably where he's going to go. Somebody's going to take him in that 4-round area. I don't think the Giants are the type of team that
it would be a team that's already pretty much set.
Yeah, the Giants are not a team that could afford the luxury, in my opinion, of taking a punter in the 4th round. PJ, what's going on, man? Will we be more likely to trade down for a future first because of the uncertainty at quarterback? Shane wants more draft capital if we need to trade up for a quarterback in 23. Will we be more? Yeah, listen, I think that is the reason why we would trade down more so than anything else, especially if we're able to get future draft capital. That is the biggest incentive to do so. So, yes, I think the fact that he is not committed to Daniel Jones long term, and he shouldn't be as of now, he's going to want to be able to get future draft capital. So, yes, 100%.
Yep.
Manny, man, what's going on, man? Let's go. Nothing wrong with Hansy, by the way.
I guess not you, but if you're a corner, yeah, sometimes.
Gabe, man, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Gabe's awesome. Always in my Discord. Great supporter. He says, yo, Chris, just wanted to say Tibbs and Neal are the picks, and let's go Mets. Let's go Mets is right. And, yeah, you've been calling for Tibbs and Neal for a while. I think it'd probably be Neal first, but regardless of that,
they end up with those two guys, going to be a happy bad dog.
Going to be a happy Giants fan base.
Yes.
If they end up with those two guys. Pandemonium says 7 for 9 and 41. Ajabo with 36. Again, it depends on who's on the board. For me, it's 7.
Yep. If the corners are gone, if both corners are gone, and I can't see. I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on who the Giants feel that Seattle and Atlanta would take. Like, if Seattle wants to trade up to get a tackle, and we've already got ours, I can see it happening. and then you just got to dodge Atlanta, and you could probably get somebody that you want there. But like, it really depends on who, like Chris said, who the Giants have on their board and who's available. But if they have somebody, pretty much even grades and say, oh, we're going to get this guy at 7 or 9 and get 41. Oh my God. I would do that in a heartbeat. I trade back 2 spots to get an early second round pick without a doubt.
Yeah.
If it's not somebody like a Stingley or so, or a Sauce or Thibodeau, it's like an absolute game changer on the Giants. Like, I can't believe this guy fell to 7.
Yeah. And Rashad, man, what's going on, man? Am I wrong for not being sold on Jermaine Johnson? I see most mocks have us give. I am not sold on him. It seems like a lot of Giants fans are. And I'm not saying I'll be upset if we take him, but I'm not sold on him. And I've given my reasoning as to why before. When you look at one stat that jumps off the page to me that I've seen all over Twitter, the guy got the majority of his pressures 3 seconds or later. I'm not sold on him in terms of being an elite edge rusher. I hope he turns into that any better if you're taking him that early. He's good. He was very productive last year at Florida State. I think he had 12 or 13 sacks, but he's not my dream pick. Let's put it that way.
Not mine either. The ACC wasn't really good last year, so I'm not really sold on Jermaine Johnson. Again, you hope that that's just smoke, that, oh, the Giants really like Jermaine Johnson. It's Jermaine Johnson this, Jermaine Johnson that. Oh, we ain't got to worry about the Giants taking Kayvon Thibodeau. We'll see. Yeah, that's why the draft is great, right? But I'm not.
He's also 24, I think.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Jermaine Johnson.
That's the other thing that I don't love is I think he's going to be 24. He's already 24. So he should be more advanced than some of these prospects. So I would rather go for a guy that's younger and a guy with more upside. Yuri, what's going on, man? I hope we get an Andrew Thomas reaction. I hope we do too. And I think we will. Peter says, what's up, guys? Been a bit. Good to see you, Pete, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm thinking we need to walk away with the first 4 picks with a tackle, edge, cornerback, and interior offensive line. Sound good?
Yes.
I mean, that's great. I am not going to say we have to do that, though. As I've said all along, I want them to take the best players they possibly can. Tackle for sure. I would definitely prefer a cornerback as well. And edge. In an ideal world, I agree. But if there are players that fall at different positions that they have really high ranked on their board, I don't want them to pass on those guys just to fill what they feel is a need in like the 2nd round or the 3rd round. So I'm not going to pigeonhole it to those have to be the first 4 picks in terms of position. Tackle for sure, though, no matter what, I want with either the 5th or 7th pick. But in an ideal world, in an ideal world, BPA or at least close to BPA matches need in those 4 positions are what we end up with.
Yeah, that would be amazing to be able to fill those 4 positions in the first 4 picks. But like Chris said, if there's somebody that really slips that has massive draft value, like McKinney.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's a safeties. I mean, there's several safeties I potentially like at 36. So linebacker, wide receiver. It all depends on who's there, who's ranked on your board.
Yeah.
And
like if they like Brisker at 36 and he's there,
Yeah.
I can tell you this. I probably don't want Kyle Hamilton at 7. That seems like that's lost steam. But I see a lot of him going to Washington at 11, or a lot of things that again, they're mock drafts. So take them with a grain of salt, like you would the meteorologists. They have a different weather forecast every day of the week for a certain day. So that's your mock drafts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're gonna come up with every scenario to make sure they're right.
Right. Exactly.
And Nikki, man, what's going on? And he says, Hal is still my quarterback 1. I think I'm on Stingley now. Yeah, we talked last night. You spoke up Stingley a lot, and I'm not going to be thrilled with Stingley, but I'm not going to cry either. I see, obviously, he's got huge upside, but I do think he's risky due to the factors that I've talked about in the past. But I am starting to lean that may be what we do at 7. But it's far from a sure thing, but that's where I'm at least leaning where I think they could go. Money, man. What's going on, man? Decided not to go to class today so I could make it for the – well, couldn't have done that, man.
Yeah, we're always here. School's way more important than we are.
I'll be up with you guys all night. Stand up. Thank you for popping in, Money Monkey, man. I appreciate it. And
I'm in the house.
Thank you so much for being here. Kayla, Evan Neal, Garrett Wilson, let's go. So she's on board with the wide receiver. Seems like a lot of Giants fans are. Octave says, thank the Lord for no Gettleman picks this year. Yeah. You don't got to worry about that.
Don't have to worry about that.
Hopefully not. Anyway, hopefully he doesn't have any pull. Hey, you, man, entertainer, the Mets' father is back. I know Acuna's back. I think it was today or yesterday with the Braves. So we'll see. We'll have to take care of business.
Listen, the best draft that Gettleman had, I think, was the year that we took Andrew Thomas, and that was the year that he couldn't get to the draft. That he's a computer, and I still keep thinking he hit the wrong button on the computer.
He had the binder. Remember the huge binder he had in front of his face?
Yeah, I think he messed that up. I don't think he wanted Andrew Thomas. We ended up with him. So maybe that's what Gettleman should have drafted. Everything is not being around. Just throw a computer in front of his face and tell him to do it.
And Steph says, Chris, new regime. Yes, good call. We got new regime. New hoodie. I'm gonna get a new hoodie in a week or two. Maybe I'll get that black hoodie. Have you seen the black hoodie that I've seen Dable wearing it a lot? It looks cool. It just doesn't feel Giants to me. It's an all black hoodie with white.
I got the all black Giants hat on, so
it's kind of like that, but with the Giants logo in white.
Well, for me, man, it's my favorite color.
It looks clean, but it just doesn't feel Giants to me.
I hear you. No, I understand. I like this hat. I got a Yankee one like this too, but it's really because they were 47 MVP, and that's about the only hats that really fit my peanut head properly. The high brims don't. 3930s fit my head good, but I really need the adjustable because, I have the smallest male size fitted hat available, which is 6 7/8. That's the size of my head. So, I always get the ones with the Velcro in the back, but I would get it. It don't matter to me, but I hear you. Blue is Giants, man. All my hoodies for the Giants are blue.
Yeah, we'll see.
They've been giving us the blues the last 5 years, Chris.
Yes, they have. But no, I'll definitely get a new hoodie in a couple weeks. Kevin says, hoping we get Neal or Kwanu. Cross is undersized and he is lacking in run blocking. Love the content, guys, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I think most Giant fans agree with you. That's their preference. I could at least see the argument for taking Cross, because of the pass blocking element of it. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing that scares you about Cross is, a lot of people say he doesn't necessarily have that mean demeanor. You watch a guy like Kwanu on film. He's fun to watch. He's tough, man. He's always looking to kill somebody, hit somebody. So I see why Giants fans like him. Both of them are probably, have a higher ceiling than a guy like Charles Cross. But Charles Cross is, I think, more impressive than some Giants fans give him credit for. So no matter what, I'm going to be happy. But I would prefer the other two. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. We're going to pull up a draft in like 5 minutes. Just want to catch up with a few of these. Fabian says, would you rather go so-called NFL-ready players? Not necessarily.
With the top two, with our first two picks, yes.
I mean, yes. It depends, though. Like, if I project a guy that I think is going to be a much better pro long-term, like, for instance, if we were going quarterback, which we're not, would I prefer Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis? I'd probably prefer Malik Willis, but Kenny Pickett is more NFL ready. So I think you have to look at it from both sides. I think you have to factor both in, and who you project to have the higher ceiling, who you think is the better potential long-term safe pick. Jermaine Johnson is probably more pro ready than some of these edge rushers due to his age, due to his experience. Doesn't necessarily mean I'd have him ranked higher than some of them. So I think you have to factor everything in.
Well, I'm thinking top 7. I want my guys to be NFL ready, which is why I'm not.
Well, no matter what, yeah.
But again, we're not taking. That's why we're not taking Malik. That's why I don't want to take Malik Willis, because if I was like, I'll take a flyer on a guy that I think could have a massive upside in a few years, I'd be like, yeah, let's go out and get him. But that's just me. If we're picking 17th, then okay. But I think I'm just talking about our situation, since we're so bad right now. We need guys that are ready to play in the NFL and that are going to get better as they progress. I want guys to come in and make an immediate impact.
Of course, we all want that. Yeah, but I think you got to factor both in. You have to factor in the long-term ceiling as well.
No, without a doubt, doubt. But these guys better be ready and have a big ceiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. If you're picking the top 7, you expect immediate contributors. Especially if it's not a quarterback. You say, okay,
Right.
Angel, man, thank you very much, man. Jermaine Johnson, right mindset, and a monster. DN. A lot of Giants fans like him. I've talked to a lot of Giants fans on Twitter that have fallen in love with him. And he's a possibility as well. There were also some rumors that came out a couple days ago that the Jets could be interested in him at 4. Duran, what's going on? What would your confidence level be if in Shane if a tackle isn't drafted with the first 2 picks, and if both picks have question marks, i.e. Stingley and Thibodeau? I got to trust the guy. I mean, period. End of story at the end of the day, Durant. He's a paid professional. He's been doing this for a long time. And the way I would tell myself why he did it, even though you know what I want to do, would be that he's trying to get the best possible players he can. He realizes that this is not a short-term fix. He realizes that this is a 3 or 4 year build, and he's trying to get the best player on his board that he possibly can to make an impact for this football team. Am I
Yep.
in love with that? No. What I will say, Durant, if he does that, I think it almost forces you to go tackle in the second round because we don't have a right tackle right now, at least the starting caliber one. If not the second, I suppose the third. And what I'll say is he better hit on that pick.
Mhm.
If he elects to pass up on one of the top tackles in this year's draft class at 5 and 7, with how big of a need it is, he better not swing and miss whenever he decides to take that right tackle, whether it be the second round, third round, whatever it is. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would be scratching my head saying, why do we not go tackle? But the other thing is, Shane doesn't have a track record here, so we can't really know what his direction is. Like I said, I'll have a better idea. We'll all have our opinions on the draft. We'll have a better idea, when we get into the end of October to know exactly what these guys have done. The other thing I'll say about Shane is this: if he decided to go, say he went Sauce at 5 and Tibbs at 7.
Right.
Shane has shown the ability to find talent later in the draft as far as the offensive line goes. So I'd have to trust his judgment and say, okay, he knows what he's doing. He wanted to address the defense. He wants to make Wink happy. We want to get back to having a dominant New York Giants defense, and we're going to try to build our offensive line later in the draft. I mean, a lot of those linemen that were there during the Super Bowl runs were not high picks, and we were able to win Super Bowls with those guys. So that would be my thought. I really want to tackle at 5. Don't get me wrong. If Evan Neal's sitting there and they don't take Evan Neal and then they get there at 7 and there's a cross or something, they don't go that route either, I'll be like, that's interesting. But I'm not going to kill the guy. I'm not going to kill the guy until he gives me a reason to. And that means he's got about 6 months. No,
he's got about another week.
He's got 3 days. No, but like Gettleman, I think Gettleman really shortened his leash with me when he took Daniel Jones, because I was all aboard when he did in 2018. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, I think we both chalked it up to Mara as much, at least equal to Gettleman in year one.
Yes.
We thought he was trying to give Eli another opportunity. In 2019, we said, all right, at least he's starting to rebuild. But then we saw the Daniel Jones pick.
Yeah.
And we had no choice after the fact but to give the kid a chance, and we did, and it didn't work, period. And now we're on to the next GM.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. Hey, how mad would you be if they go Cross at 5 and Stingley at 7? My dream scenario is Neal and Sauce in that order. I honestly don't think they trade back. I'm not going to be mad, personally. I know there's going to be a lot of Giants fans who are mad if they do that. Just you better be right. Cross has to be a good tackle for sure. If Cross ends up being a bust and you passed on Neal, for example, and Neal ends up being an All-Pro, you're going to look like a fool. But in that scenario, you still addressed our 2 biggest needs. It's not like Stingley doesn't have a huge upside. So I'd give them an opportunity. Is it my dream? Like you said, no, my dream is Neal and Sauce. That's been my dream, for about 2 months now. So that's what I want in an ideal situation. You're not always going to get your ideal situation. They may evaluate these players differently based on the type of schemes they're going to run both offensively and defensively. They may feel Cross is the better long-term fit. They may feel Stingley's the better long-term fit. So for me, at least, I don't think it's a situation where I'm going to scream and curse and yell. I think it's a situation where I'm going to give those guys an opportunity, and I'll be at least happy that they addressed what I felt were the 2 biggest needs on this football team.
Yeah, completely agree. The other thing is, I mean, it's rare, but maybe not a great possibility, but it's a possibility that both Sauce and Neal are gone by the time we pick at 5. And that might be what we do, or they're gone by the time we pick at 7. Like if they go Evan Neal, but maybe Sauce is gone or whatever. But it is possible that we don't have a choice. So, yeah, not my preference, but again, they'd be addressing 2 big needs for the New York Giants, and I'm not going to be upset. If both guys are available, you had an opportunity between Cross and Neal, and they go Cross, and then you have the opportunity to take Sauce or Stingley, and they went Stingley. Again, that's not my preference, but I'm not the GM of the Giants. I'm just a guy that looks at the highlights and, game plays. I don't even break it down. I don't know how the hell to do that. I know some people think they do, but they don't. Otherwise, they'd be in the NFL. But it's just, when I see somebody on YouTube, I'm like, that's awesome, but I'd rather trust somebody that is in the NFL, in the business, in the film room. So again, they're just my preference, but I'm going to believe in Joe Shane and this front office and say they know what they're doing better than I do. So let's give them an opportunity. But if they get that track record of failing like Edelman did or like
And
Reese
you get a
did,
shorter
then
leash. And
you
you get a
haven't,
shorter leash. Yeah.
right. Then you're going to sit there and go, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
but I think I would come out of the draft and say to myself, it wasn't the dream pick for us as a fan base. But the fans aren't always right. So you have to give this guy an opportunity to evaluate these players, and I think you at least have to come out of it happy that they addressed the right tackle and they got the corner, which right now I think is the biggest hole on that defense, factoring in that we're probably not going to have Bradbury. When you
Neal and Sauce, Neal and Tibbs, that's really that's my dream scenario.
Yeah.
Or like Neal, Sauce, and then as one of those guys in the second round, which Trent's getting to there now. He says, who do you guys think at 36? I think it depends on what we do in the first two picks. But if we can get Sauce and Evan Neal, then you could look at Brisker or Benito at 36. And I'd be really happy with that too, because you're going to get an edge. You can get an edge or a safety at 36. And that'd be awesome.
Which is going to take us. We'll do a quick mock. I'll try to catch up with all your chats, guys, but I want to do this mock. It's already 12:21. Trent asked us who we think we're going to get at 36. We're going to go over that. We'll do a 2-round mock draft. We'll start with that because really today's day one, but it'll be fun to go over who we think could be there at 36 and what the New York Giants could possibly be thinking at the end of the day. So we'll do a 2-round mock draft. I'll go over the possibilities at 36 if it plays out the way that we see going into the draft, Trent. So this will be, I guess, our final mock going into the draft, how we see it playing out. Again, we're not professionals. You're not going to agree with our mock. It is what it is.
It is.
It's
I had a guy comment yesterday after the fact. He's like, "Oh, these picks mean nothing. Well, why even bother?" Like, bro,
it's for fun, dude.
It's for fun. My God,
get a life.
Right. I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, there's 6,000 people that do this in the NFL. What does it mean? Their picks mean as much as ours do.
Yeah.
Nothing. They don't know. They know as much as we do. They guess as much as we do here.
Yeah, exactly. And Alien Man, what's going on? What's up, Tane and Bad Dog? What's up with the Mets constantly getting hit with the pitch? Dude, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about it has something to do with the baseballs. I think there's it's like slicker this year or something like that, Bad Dog, I've read. I don't think it was intentional. They hit one guy with the bases loaded. But it's just, I think they've been hit 20 times in like the first 20 games.
So I'm going to say, I watched the highlights of the Mets Cardinals yesterday. Saw a nice brawl.
The Mets went out.
I said, you know what? I flashes of the 86 Mets. That should make you Mets fans happy. The 86 Mets got in a fight every series, and it was great.
Yeah. Well, they had to retaliate. They've been hit way too many times, so I was glad to see that.
Good. The 98 Yankees had one of the greatest brawls ever with the Orioles. So sometimes those help. Sometimes those help. Not that the Mets needed help. The Mets are good, but
listen, I'm excited, man.
Good for the Mets.
DJ Smooth says Bryce Young in 2023. Wait for him. No quarterback. That's all. That's if we could get him. He's probably going to be a top 2 or 3 pick as of now, but if we could get him for sure. And I'll read one more and then we'll get with the mock. Will says, stand up. Draft day. Can't wait for win shots tomorrow. Let's go, Will. I'll try to get to the rest of your guys' chats. I can always go back if I lose it on the chat and catch up with you guys. But I want to do this mock draft. We're going to start with a 2-round mock draft. Giants obviously picking at 5 and 7. That's where our interests lie. I want to do maybe 2 or 3 other simulations with the possibility of trading down.
Okay.
But let's start.
Don't forget the Eagles one.
We're definitely doing an Eagles one. All right, let's start the draft. I think at this point, it sounds like we both kind of agree we're actually buying into this hype that the number 1 pick is going to be Trayvon Walker.
Yes.
Which is insane. If you would have said that a month and a half ago, people would have called you crazy, but he had an incredible combine. I think it's a draft where teams are saying it's not there's no Myles Garrett in this draft. And I think the Jaguars, they're saying we're going to swing for the fences with a guy with an immense
huge upside. Yeah.
And we're going to take our shot on the defensive line. I think that's how they justify making that pick.
Yep. Hutchinson's going to go second.
Hutchinson's obvious second.
By the way, I don't know how many of these we're going to do like this. Yeah. Our Giants fan had a good idea, and I think we did this last year. He said, we can do this maybe the next mock or whatever, or we can do this here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He said that, you should pick one, I should pick one, and then let the chat pick one.
Okay, chat picks this pick.
So we'll do it that way.
Chat picks this pick. Let me just get Easy Does. He says Daniel Jones will throw 35 touch. I pray to God you're right. Easy Does it.
I hope so too.
Pray to God you're right. I'm caught up on the chat here. Pick number 3, guys. You
Right
are on the clock. Pick number 3, Houston. And this is an interesting one because I think this is a wild card.
It's just weird that it says all positions. You don't see that very often. Everything.
And by the way, when you say this pick, be realistic. Don't say what you want them to
do. There. I see Icom, I see Tibbs, I see Neal, Aquanu, Stingley, Cross. Well, Cross probably isn't.
Sauce, Neal.
A lot of Stingley, a lot of Sauce.
Okay.
A lot of Neal. Aquanu.
I'm just seeing a lot of sauces.
It is.
I'm seeing a good amount of Aquanus.
Yep.
I see a Stingley.
Yeah.
I would say Sauce is slightly the most popular pick.
Yeah.
Slightly. I've seen some Stingleys as well.
I see some Stingleys too.
I'm going to go Sauce, even though I actually have them going to Quanu, but we'll go with the chat here, and I would not be surprised at all if they go Sauce.
But they was pretty even. It was a lot of Neal, a lot of Sauce, a lot of Aquanu.
We'll go Sauce. We'll go Sauce. It's close, but we'll go Sauce. Chat picked Sauce there with that pick. Let me just make sure I read this real quick. We already got the Daniel Jones. Dyer, I'm going to read this so I don't forget it. He says, put up a poll. Oh, how do you do that? I don't even know how to do that. Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right. Pick number, they're going to be 6 next, right?
Yes.
Pick 6 will be the next. All right, I will wait until we make our picks at 4 and 5 to make the poll. But I will make the poll in a minute. So let's go to pick number 4 for the New York Jets. I'll let you make it, then I'll make pick 5. Well, I'll let you make the giant pick. Pick 4, New York Jets on the clock. Gardner's now off the board. I've said that I think they're going to go corner. I could see Stingley. I could see Stingley actually in this situation because part of me is starting to really lean that the Jets are going to go corner.
Yeah.
I could easily see Kayvon Thibodeau as well. People in the chat may not agree with me. I'm going to have the Jets taking Derek Stingley.
It's possible. It's very possible if Sauce was off the board.
And again, I don't have Sauce going to Houston. I have Aquanu going to Houston. But if the chat picked Gardner, I'm going to actually have the Jets taking Stingley. 2 corners, top 4 picks. You're on the clock.
That leaves all our tackles.
Yeah.
Giants fans, I mean, the best, safest tackle in this draft, my opinion, is Evan Neal. And I know there's a lot of hype about how they like Charles Cross and this and that, but I think when you're picking 5, I think the smart, and I think Andrew Thomas, when we took him 4th, I think he was the safest pick in that draft. So I would lean Evan Neal here if all 3 of these guys are here. Again, the Giants very possibly could take Charles Cross because there is a lot of rumors that they like him, but we don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is smoke. So, and then you hear about Evan Neal's health problems, but I haven't really heard a ton more about that. I'm going to take Evan Neal here for the Giants at 5.
And I see DeGrom's a Jet fan. He's upset. He says, Chris, it's Thibodeau. Listen, you're not going to like everything we do, man. And they could easily go Thibodeau, okay? Yeah. I think it's either a corner or an edge for you guys. I don't know. I've talked myself into thinking the Jets are going corner before the draft. And again, I think you're going to get Sauce. I don't think Sauce is going to Houston, but he wasn't there. So I went Stingley, and there's going to be surprises in the draft. I know you're a Jet fan. You don't like seeing that. I'm doing it. I'm going Stingley. All right, let's put up a poll. Evan Neal goes to the New York Giants. So let's put up a poll. Let's have some fun here. 6 pick. I'm going to add a couple of options. Who will be the Panthers pick at 6? And we'll let the chat decide. All right. So most obvious options for me: quarterback, Malik Willis. We'll also say Kenny Pickett. And then I think it's line, which would be Charles Cross or Ike McConnell. So I think those would be our 4 choices. I think those are the 4 most logical choices, unless you have maybe they could take a guy like Hamilton, but we're gonna make those the 4 choices. We're gonna let the chat vote for pick number 6. This will be interesting to see who they pick, Bad Dog.
Yes, it will.
This is cool. That was a good suggestion by Dire Giants fan. Poll. Good job by you. Read a couple of these while we wait on the poll. Grim man, thank you very much, man. Latest rumor: 1 Walker, 2 KT, 3 Stingley, 4 Hutchinson. You're going to hear a lot of rumors, man.
Yes, you
and,
are.
And we'll see. Chaotic man, thank you very much. Not a big fan of Cross. He's the only one there. I'd rather take 2 defensive players, though. Oh, if he's the only one there, yeah. I mean, I would probably still prefer Cross personally, just because I think we need a tackle, and I do think he fits what we're looking to do. But if they go 2 defensive players, like I said earlier, I'm not going to scream about it.
Yeah, if they got Sauce and Thibodeau, I'm
not going to scream.
I would not be unhappy with that either.
Yeah, he just better hit on his tackle later in the draft. Pencilman, he says, Shane has so many holes to fill. I was going to send him a case of Flex Seal. Let's nail this draft. And Demiri says, what are the chances the Saints trade 2-7 and we take Neal at 5 and get a DB and possibly a pass rusher in the mid-round? I mean, it's certainly possible. I mean, you have to ask yourself, why did the Saints make that trade to begin with? And I think it at least was potentially to open up the opportunity to trade up if they did like one of these quarterbacks. So it's possible. Maybe the Saints are waiting to see who's on the board when the New York Giants are on the clock. So we'll see. I won't rule it out. I'll read Diego, and then we'll get to the chat and see who they picked. Diego, man, thank you very much, man. If we don't trade back this year and we were picking around 10 next year, what do you guys think we would have to give up to move into the top 5? Because I don't think Stroud is falling out of the top 5. All right, if we're picking 10 exactly in your exact scenario, what would the Giants have to give up if we don't have a future first-round pick? You're probably giving up another first. You're probably giving up a 2024 first. If you're jumping from 10 to 5, we'll say, or 10 to 4, you're probably giving up a future first. I would say that's fairly comparable from for 20 to 11. A 5-pick jump that early, you may even have to give up a little bit more than that. But you probably have to give up next year's first, especially for a quarterback that is rated as highly, at least as of now, as some of the quarterbacks that are going to be in next year's class. So you probably have to give up an additional first.
Agreed.
So let's get to the poll. Let's see who they picked. How do I
just hit end the poll?
This was close, Bad Dog.
It was.
Malik Willis narrowly won. Malik Willis was 32%. Kenny Pickett was 13%. Charles Cross was 15%. And Ekwonu won the poll at 39%. Yep. So really close between Willis and Ekwonu. So good job there by Dire Giants fan. Made it a lot more fun for you guys in the chat. So you guys did pick Ekwonu. So we're going to end that poll. And let's pick Ekwonu to the Carolina Panthers, which puts me up on the clock. I get to make the Giants' second selection. We took a tackle, Evan Neal. Yep. Both corners are off the ball. Oh, dude, you know where I'm going.
Tibbs.
You know where I'm going. Chat, let me ask you: should I go Kayvon Thibodeau, or should I go with Matt Araiza, the punter from San Diego State? I'm gonna let you guys pick. But I'm slightly leaning Kayvon Thibodeau with this.
We could really stick it to the Eagles if we took their punter at 7, though.
Both my corners are already off the board. I'm not going there. I think I'm slightly leaning Kayvon Thibodeau with this pick.
Slightly.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, man. That's where my head's at. I could easily see the New York Giants making that selection there with that pick if he's on the board. So you guys are head over heels in love with this draft. You got Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Bad Dog, man.
Man. Well, Atlanta's needs, a lot of them disappeared. But, I was watching highlights of Jermaine Johnson and, guys, I forgot, guy was like, oh, he's going to end up in Baltimore. I don't know if it's Baltimore or somebody else. And I was like, I said, Jermaine Johnson's stock is rising big. And I'm like, he might not get out of the top 10. He might go as early as 8 to Atlanta. I don't follow Atlanta Falcons mocks and stuff. I have heard nothing about Malik Willis to the Falcons. It's possible the Falcons trade back here. We're not going to do that because it would take all day. We started messing around with trades for all these teams. But, the center, it's too early for a center. They're not going to take Linderbaum. It's too early for a guard. I don't think these guys are close to being top 10 picks. The corners are off the board. Give them Jermaine Johnson.
By the way, news came out. I saw a couple people say it in the chat, and now New York Giants 26 just super chatted it. So this is good news. I will probably make a video on this potentially later today, if not tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll talk about it tonight. The Giants have officially said they are not picking up Daniel Jones' 5th-year option. Good news.
I think that they're watching the videos again, and because I re-uploaded I actually reacted to my Daniel Jones reaction yesterday, and I think Joe Shane looked at that and goes, "Yeah, we can't bring that guy back."
Yeah, that's good. That's good news. I think it's the right decision.
I
I think
agree.
Jones has to prove it this year to be worthy of getting any more money out of the New York Giants, and hopefully he does. But I think it's the right decision with the injury history. Giants are
Yeah.
not picking up the fifth year option.
Completely agree.
But I kind of got off track there because I saw that chat. Who did you say you were picking?
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. Okay, that's where I thought you were headed with what you were saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that he's the best player for what they need. As far
Yeah,
as
I think we had him going to the Falcons with our
we
last
might have
draft as well.
Yeah.
So I could say, I mean, like you said, the Falcons are tricky because they could go quarterback, they could go they could go so many ways.
Yeah.
That's a tough team to pick for. So now, Bad Dog, let's go over these the possibilities we're going to give to the chat. Let me just read this from Diet Ghost. He says, "Been a long, nervous wait for this draft. I want Willis and Tibbs, but team needs come first. You two are the best. Let's go, Big Blue. Let's go, Shane.
Let's go, Diet Ghost.
Thank you so much for being here, Diet Ghost, man. I really appreciate it. So, and Nick DeWick, I'll read this real quick. Zion Johnson's offensive line coach, Coach Good. Oh, really? Guglielmo, who was the O-line coach for the Giants briefly for a bit, didn't work out here with us, but he is a good offensive line coach. I think he was with the Colts as well when they had that really good offensive line. So, all right, that's cool, Nick. Good little tidbit there. So let's
Cross. I think Cross, Willis.
Yeah, I think Cross has to be.
And I think Willis has to be.
Yeah, Willis and Cross, I think, are obvious possibilities here. What else can we do here? Let me look at I guess Hamilton we could throw in there.
Yeah.
And well, maybe a wide receiver. I mean, no, they have pretty good wide receivers as is, so I'm not going to go wide receiver.
Maybe Karlaftis.
You want to throw Karlaftis in there? You want to throw Devin Lloyd in there? You know what? I think it's one of those three, to be completely honest with you. I'm just going to leave it at 3 because I can't see the chat voting for anybody else. Right. We're going to give you those 3 choices, guys. Malik Willis, Charles Cross, or Kyle Hamilton. We'll let the chat decide. We'll try to catch up with the chat a bit. And, yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys pick here with this pick to the Seattle Seahawks. So go ahead and vote on that poll. And let's get to the next one right here. This is fun, man. I like doing mock drafts like this. Get the chat
fun. It's fun.
Mike, thank you very much, man. My dream tonight is Neal at 5, Tibbs at 7. I'm torn between Tibbs and Sauce, but we need to get back to New York Giants football and getting to the quarterback. And Tibbs is a beast.
Then you love this mock so far, Mike, because that's exactly what we mocked to the Giants.
Yeah, and I said this yesterday as well. Like somebody asked me on Twitter in a private message, what's your preference between the two? I said my heart says Thibodeau, my brain says Sauce. So either way, I'm going to be happy, whether it's with my heart or with my brain. I'm a Giants fan at the end of the day. What do we think about it? At least me, with the great days, we think about that great pass rush. But at the same time, I also recognize that we need really good coverage with the defensive scheme we're going to have. So I'm going to be happy either way, man. If you get a difference maker at either one of those positions, I see the value at either spot.
Agreed.
And I'm going to check on that poll. Just going to check one more message, and then we'll check on the poll. Killmonger, man, thank you very much, man. Fellas, mark my words, we will regret the day if we don't select Johnson and Chanel if they are available to us. Jermaine Johnson's a popular guy amongst Giant fans, along with Chanel. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. We're going to have to find out very quickly later tonight. Looks like Cross is leading the poll pretty big. Close, fairly close. Willis at 36%. It's got 211 votes.
Cross got more than half the votes.
Cross at 51%. So I think we're going to go Cross, obviously. So quarterback's starting to slip, Bad Dog.
Yep.
Quarterback's starting to slip in this mock draft.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do Cross to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously makes a ton of sense. Their offensive line.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're setting up your quarterback for the future. Jets on the clock. I am only going to go based off the assumption that they have not traded for a wide receiver yet. So to me, that's their obvious need right now at this point in time. You have a quarterback entering year 2. You got to get him a weapon, something the Jets have had to do for a number of years. They've tried to do it. They've signed some wide receivers, but they don't really have that number 1, and they get to take the first wide receiver off the board. Where the Jets would go with this pick, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked into which wide receiver Jets fans prefer. I know that Garrett Wilson is among one of the high-end wide receivers here. Drake London's another one that's a possibility as well. Jameson Williams, but you worry a little bit about the injury. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson to the Jets. I'll take Garrett Wilson to the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Right. You get to pick for our rival now.
Washington, like I said, I've seen a lot of mocks that have Hamilton falling to 11. Definitely would be a good value. I don't really care what the needs say there, because who the hell knows what that even means as far as those. I know what we need. I don't know what their needs are, but Hamilton's obviously a very versatile guy. There's talk about him going in the top 10. I think if he falls out of the top 10, I definitely think Washington could go that route. They don't really need a wide receiver. It says they don't. I know they don't need an edge. They got Sweat and Chase Young. If they needed an edge, I could see Karlaftis because he played at the same school Ryan Kerrigan did, and Kerrigan had great success there. So maybe they'd have some ties there. I can't see them taking a quarterback here. And again, this is maybe a possibility where Washington trades back with a team like Pittsburgh or something.
If you want to do a trade, you let me know.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it here though, because again, if you're looking at the teams coming up, I don't think Pittsburgh feels like they need to get in front of any of those upcoming teams, right? Minnesota's not taking a quarterback. I don't think the Texans again are a wild card, but give them Kyle Hamilton. I think Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I think that's what we had yesterday too. And
yeah,
the more I think about it, the more I could see it. Because Kyle Hamilton's not going to go much further than this. And
yeah,
it seems like a good fit there if he does fall there. So I like the pick. They get another difference maker on that defense. Kyle Hamilton goes to Washington, and now you got the Minnesota Vikings on the board for the chat. Let's talk about the possibilities for the chat. Cornerback is a big need of theirs. Potentially could use some edge. To me, Minnesota, for me at least, is much like Dallas last year, where I think they're going to go so heavy on the defensive side of the football.
right.
Maybe they address the line as well. That's a need of theirs too. I'm not trying to discount that, but this is a team that last year, their defense was horrible. They squandered so many late games for the football team. They need to get difference makers on that side. So I'm going to go heavy in terms of the options for the chat on the defensive end here.
Yeah, Karlaftis would definitely be one of them.
Yeah, let's do the options here. We'll throw Karlaftis in there. We'll throw McDuffie for sure. I think cornerback's a clear option here. Let's throw McDuffie in there. Let me take a look at other potential options for them. I don't think they're going receiver. They got a lot of good wide receivers there already. I don't know if they need a linebacker. If they do, Devin Lloyd, I suppose, is a possibility, but I don't know if they need a linebacker. I want to throw another corner in there because it's possible they could take I like Elam, so I'll throw him in there. I think he's a possibility at least. So I'll throw him in there. And you know what? Let's throw Jordan Davis in there. I feel like Minnesota, historically speaking, has had really good interior defensive linemen. I just think he's a really good player. I don't know if that's an immediate need of theirs, but I think this is around the time in the draft where I could at least see him start to come off the board. So let's throw him in there as well. We got Karlaftis, McDuffie, Elam, and Jordan Davis. We're going to let you guys make the pick. Number 12 overall for the Minnesota Vikings. And Andrew says, Chris, we're going to need a Giants hat for the draft. Yeah, I got to find my camel hat. If not, maybe I'll try to pick one up before. If not,
find it. I have a camo hat too. I'll throw that on too. Let's go.
Yeah. If not, I'll try to get one before tonight. If not, but before day 2, you have my promise. I'll get a new Giants hat. Blake says, not to beat a dead horse, Kuiper and McShay both agreed to Troy Anderson is a day 1 starter with ability to play multiple positions on D. Early day 2 guy, FCS Defensive Player of the Year. I don't even know. Where's he going in mocks? Let me see. Early day 2 guy, FCS Defense. Sorry about that. Got an echo there. Where's he typically going in these mock drafts? Troy Anderson, at least according to this site, which kind of compiles where these players typically go. Because I keep seeing you ask me about him. I don't even see him on the mock. Oh, there we go. Draft profile. No, that's DraftKings. I have to do more research on the guy. I have not done a ton of research on him. So
I haven't either.
Yeah, but I'll let you know. I don't see him going relatively early though, at least for the Giants. Definitely not with our first 2 picks. But Blake, thank you very much, man. And we're gonna get to Xerox now, and then we're gonna check out the chat. Xerox, man, thank you very much. Morning, gents. My favorite day of the year has arrived. The Giants need to draft Kayvon Thibodeau. I want teams to fear the Giants D-line like they used to.
Yes.
I hope so, man.
I hope so, too.
I hope you're happy tonight. And that we got him, so you're probably happy. Talking Eco says, chance that all 3 tackles are gone by 5. I'll say 15%, maybe 20%.
Possible, but not likely.
I think there's a chance because I could see 2 going to the top 4 and then Giants take one. So I'll go 25%.
Oh, true. Top 5, yes.
Yeah, 25%. 25% talking Eco. My guess is only 2 will be gone, but there's a chance. There's a chance. And I'll read Davey and then we'll get to the chat. Davey, man, thank you very much, man. Here's the facts. DJ will start the year. Fact. Shane will give him what he needs. Same for Barkley. This is fact. As fans, we hope that they succeed. If Jones fails, then we think quarterback. That's it. Enough said.
I agree. I agree.
I think as a GM, you have to be forward thinking and at least give yourself the option if it presents itself to be able to move off of DJ, especially being that now that you did not pick up his fifth-year option, you're not showing supreme confidence in him. And you're kind of saying, let's wait and see what he could do. But you at least want to give yourself that opening if things don't work out to be able to go up and get a quarterback. But as a fan base, I agree. Let's analyze how he does this year and worry about next year. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree overall with your sentiment, Davey. But let's get to what the chat had to say regarding this. Karlaftis looks like he's in the lead. Oh, look how close this is.
That is close.
I'm going to give you guys another minute.
No, it's even.
It's only been 195 votes. It is 42% to 42% between Karlaftis and McDuffie. I'm going to give you guys another minute. Elam is at 9%. Davis is at 8%. So they're out of it.
Yes.
It's either Karlaftis or McDuffie. And now it looks like Karlaftis is starting to pull ahead a little bit. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to make some votes, but that one's tight. Chat was kind of split on that one. That was a good one. Let me pull up one more as I wait for the chat to pull in a couple more votes on that pick as I'm trying to catch up here with you guys. And we got John.
Looks like Karlaftis. Excuse me. Looks like Karlaftis is starting to pull away a little bit.
Yep. All right, let's do it. Karlaftis barely eked it out. 45% to 40%. Karlaftis did get the win. So we'll go with Karlaftis here with this pick. 1 second. Let me just scroll up. Why is this doing this? There we go. Karlaftis. There we go. Karlaftis goes to Minnesota. And now Houston is on the clock, who is one of the hardest teams to pick for because they need every position. They don't have an obvious guy that they're definitely going to take. They took Ahmad Gardner. In this spot, I mean, they go so many ways. They could go interior offensive lineman potentially with a guy like a Linderbaum or a Green or a Zion Johnson if they like to go that way. If you're thinking long term, Penning for me at least, a little bit of a reach here. I'm not in love with them at 13, but if they're going line, I think those are your options.
Wide receiver is a possibility for them.
Definitely a possibility here. And that's probably where I'm leaning, especially because they already addressed a cornerback. McDuffie could be a pick here had they not done that. Could go linebacker too. I think Devin Lloyd starts to enter the conversation here. I'm going to go wide receiver, and I will go Drake London. To Houston.
Makes sense.
At 13.
It's a safe pick. Obviously, Williams has the higher upside, but you just never know with that injury. Baltimore, I think this is obvious. If he actually falls to Baltimore at 14, I think Jordan Davis is going there. I don't think there's any way because they know that Philadelphia probably wants Jordan Davis, and I think it makes all the sense in the world to put Jordan Davis on Baltimore. Baltimore is known for the defense. They need a defensive lineman, and that guy is perfect for them. So I think Jordan Davis. And now the chat gets to pick the Eagles.
Oh, and we're going to do an Eagles draft shortly, guys. But you guys are going to get the pick for the Eagles. We're not putting any punters or kickers. We're going to do a realistic draft first. You guys are going to get to pick for the Eagles. Let's come up with the options. Let me read this real quick from John. You guys are the best. Really helped me get through the last season, especially after I told all my friends, Eagles fans, that we'd win the division. So did I. So we're with you, man. I want Neil and Sauce Tibbs. Let's go 5-7. John, man, thank you so much. Really appreciate that, man. And hopefully this year we have a much more fun season when we go in with more realistic expectations. I'll catch up with a couple more of these in a second, but let's go over the options that we want to give the chat. Let me hear your input. What are you considering here for the Eagles?
For me, I mean, McDuffie, they definitely need a corner. I think McDuffie's definitely in play here. I think Devin Lloyd's in play for them. And a wide receiver, whether that be Jameson Williams or Chris Olave. But I definitely think wide receiver, cornerback, and a linebacker are in play for Philadelphia here.
I think you hit it on the head. I think Devin Lloyd is definitely a possibility here. I would have thought Davis would have been had he been there, but he's off the board. Lloyd is absolutely a possibility, even though the Eagles don't traditionally go linebacker.
They haven't. I think I heard Philly 500 say yesterday they haven't drafted one since 1979, which beats us. We haven't drafted a first-round linebacker since Banks in '84. So, but
and I think you hit it on the. I think wide receivers got to be open.
Yeah,
I'll throw in two wide receivers, Jameson Williams, and we'll throw in what's the other?
Yeah,
wow, good call. We'll throw Olave in there as well. So there's your choices, guys.
And while they're voting, I'm going to turn the corner and hit the rain room, and I'll be right back. It's draft day, baby. I'm pumped. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Going to let you guys decide on that. You got 4 choices for the Eagles. And I think all 4 of them are realistic. Randy, the friggin' Ram, man, thank you very much. Don't the Jets like Jermaine Johnson? There were rumors of it. There's been rumors that the Jets like every player under the sun, just like everybody else. But yeah, there were rumors of it a couple of days ago that the Jets potentially could be interested in Jermaine Johnson at 4th overall. You've heard Jermaine Johnson jump all over the board. I think Jordan Renan came out and said that he's heard that he's definitely going top 10, and he even potentially could go top 5. We'll see. But yes, there was at least some rumblings that the Jets could potentially have some interest in Jermaine Johnson at 4, which I'd be happy if they took him. Orphanage DeGrom says, I have y'all taking Kenny Pickett in London. Don't do that to us, DeGrom. Don't do that to us, DeGrom. NY Giants 26 says Sauce, Neil Cross on the board. I take Sauce at 5. Whatever offensive tackle makes it to 7. For me, NY Giants 26, I mean, we could say that as a fan base because you think about it, you're like, yeah, there's 2 tackles that I personally am pretty close on. So I'm okay with taking either one. But from the Giants' perspective, from Joe Shane's perspective, if he values Neil significantly higher than Cross or Cross significantly higher than Neil, he may not think that way. He may say to himself, I'm making sure I'm getting the guy that I feel is much better than the other prospect, especially being that Carolina could certainly take a tackle at 6. So he may not think that way. If they're very close, I agree with you. I think they go defense. But if there's a decent, shift in the way that he thinks about the tackle prospects that are available to him, I think he goes tackle at 5.
Yeah, very possible.
And let's get Brandon real quick. He says, if Ekwonu makes it past the Jets, I'll be shocked.
I don't think he did in this draft, right?
He did. He did.
Oh, did he? Well, that's right. We had 2 corners going early on.
Yeah, we had 2 corners. So we threw in a shocker. There's going to be a shocker. It happens. And maybe that'll be where it is.
I'll be honest. I don't think that would even be a shock if it happened.
I don't think it would be either. I don't think it would be either. Nothing. I think the Jets go either corner or edge with a slight possibility of going with a guy like Ekwonu. But I would say corner or edge is probably most realistic. And NY Giants, no fit for DJ. That's how far behind I am. But yeah, we heard about that a while ago. But yeah, we'll try to catch up on the rest of these. Let me see how the chat's doing here with this. This is close, I think. I mean, it's relatively close, but it looks like Devin Lloyd's going to get the leg up.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd's taking it.
Williams and McDuffie were pretty close, but Devin Lloyd is going to go to the Eagles at number 15 overall, their first of 2 picks. So let's get Devin Lloyd to the Eagles. Now the Saints are on the clock. Saints could go quarterback here.
They really could go quarterback here.
And they kind of have the ideal situation where he could sit and learn for a year with the New Orleans Saints, right? Because they have a pretty good offensive line. They already signed their quarterback this year. At least he'll be there for another year. If they do I think Willis is still on the board, right? Or no, Willis is still on the board along with Pickett.
I think we gave Pickett to him last time. I think we gave Pickett to New Orleans.
Maybe we did. I can't remember. I'm going to switch it up. I'll go. Because we had the Steelers trading up to 12 to get Willis.
Yep.
But if Willis is there, I'm going to have Willis here off the board, going to the Saints. And I think this is a good spot for him.
I do too.
They have a pretty good offensive line. He's got a veteran that he could sit and learn from underneath for a year.
You got a really good safety blanket in Alvin Kamara.
And you think about the turf there with his speed.
Yeah.
I think this is a good fit for Willis. And I could see it making sense if he's on the board at 16. Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll go Willis here to the Saints. And now you got the Chargers, Bad Dog.
And with the Chargers, I mean, a couple of things here that I'm looking at. You could get Justin Herbert, another amazing weapon with Jameson Williams, and really bring back Eric Coryell back to the Chargers. Can you imagine Jameson Williams on that team? But this is also a good spot for, maybe it's a little high, but I don't think so, for like a Zion Johnson or a Kenyon Green. I mean, they could use a tackle. You want to beef up your offensive line as much as possible. But I'm giving them the wide receiver. I'm giving them Jameson Williams, man. I gotta let Justin Herbert just be Justin Herbert and throw, just whatever, outscore everybody by giving them Jameson Williams. That would be a hell of a combination, right? So you look at what Burrow is doing with
Cincinnati
Chase, right? Yeah. So why not give him an Alabama receiver and let's go to town.
The chat's gonna pick for the Eagles again. Yes. And Matthew, is that accurate? I'm not surprised if it is. Dexter Lawrence, apparently, at least according to Matthew, got the 5th-year option for
Yeah.
the Giants picked up,
Which
I'm
we
not.
said that'd be a smart idea. At the beginning of the week, we said that'd be smart for $10 million to pick him
Yeah,
up.
I think it's especially when you factor in that the market's going to go up next year, the cap's going to go up, and you look at what what's his name, the D tackle. Why am I forgetting his name off the top of my head? Johnson last year for the Giants, he got a $7 million a year
Yeah.
contract. So I think it's only going to be $10 million for Dexter Lawrence. It's a 1-year commitment. I think that's actually the right move for the Giants. So I agree with what they did. They did not give it to Jones. They gave it to Lawrence. I think that is the correct decision for the New York Giants. But let's come up with some options here for the chat regarding the.
I think the two guys that were there before, I think McDuffie and Olave would still be in play since they took Lloyd, but I think McDuffie and Olave would be in play, and then
I think those are the two most likely. Let me take a quick look at the draft board. McDuffie, Olave, they're not going line. They could, I suppose they could go Devontae Wyatt, but I don't see the chat voting for him. They already took a linebacker, so you're not going to put Dean on there. Do we have to take in a corner? No, right?
No, I would put McDuffie back in there.
Oh, McDuffie is in there. I'm also going to throw in Andrew Booth as a possibility. And yeah, I think we could stick with that.
Yeah.
We'll put those maybe another wide receiver. You want to throw is there another wide receiver that can be?
I think the next one available, I said, was Sky Moore. I
Yeah.
think if they're going to take a wide receiver there, I think it would be Olave. But
okay. Let me get rid of why am I? Oh, all right. I'm just going to throw more in there because it's making me put in the other one. So there you go. Ask your community. There's the pick. You guys get to choose the next Eagles pick. Horatio Fellatio says, what do you guys think is happening with Bradbury? And if he is staying, do you think Sauce is still the move or edge? I mean, if Sauce is there, I think he's going to be a Giant.
Yep, I do too.
I don't know if he's going to be there, but if he's there, I think he's going to be a Giant. As far as the Bradbury question, I'm like 98.736% sure that James Bradbury will not be a New York Giant next year. We don't have the money to retain him, and that is the most obvious player that we could trade to shore up some of the cap space. Whether or not he's traded tonight, I'm not sure, but I would be pretty damn surprised if Bradbury's with the Giants at the start of the season.
Yeah, I would be too.
And edge is a possibility, Horatio, but if Sauce is there, I think he'll be a Giant. Yvonne, man, thank you very much, man. What's up, fellas? Giants pick up Dexter. So there you go. So they did pick up the 5th-year option, and we kind of expected that. I wouldn't have been shocked either way, but I was leaning that I thought that they would. And Bill, man, thank you very much, man. Don't want to hear about not taking offensive tackle at 5 or 7. How many years do we have to suffer watching a terrible line? I mean, I'm with you.
I'm with you too.
I don't want to get cute. I want them to shore up the right side, and I don't want to get cute. You know,
I want to agree up the outside and the inside.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Bill, but I also have to be open to giving Joe Shane an opportunity if he doesn't go that route and hope that he does get value at that position if they don't go with it in the first round. But I'm completely with you, man. And Michael Jones says, JPP is a free agent. Do you all see a reunion? I mean, we don't have any money.
Right.
I in my head, at first, I was like, maybe that is possible. But we don't have any money. So, no, I don't. I don't see a reunion. And Demir, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Let me take. Oh wow, Olave 49%. McDuffie got 39%. So Olave is a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yep.
Good pick for the Eagles.
I think so.
So they draft another first-round wide receiver. The chat gave to him.
Yep.
Chris Olave going to the Eagles. Let's put that in there, and that brings us to the Saints again. We had the Saints getting a quarterback first time around. They need a wide receiver, I feel, but wide receivers have been fine. McDuffie's still on the board. I don't know how they are. I think they have a pretty good secondary. Their offensive line is pretty strong. Sky Moore's a reach. This is tough.
Yeah, it gets tough here.
This is a tough one. Maybe Traylon Burks. That's another wide receiver, but
I already took the quarterback. So
he was projected by many to be a first, by some at one point to be the first wide receiver off the board in this class.
Yeah,
he's kind of fallen a bit. I don't know how PFF rankings are opposed to other draft sites.
I look at it this way: we gave him Malik Willis. Why wouldn't you give him a wide receiver too? Right? That seems to be the thing. Pair up a young quarterback with a young receiver and let them develop that chemistry.
How many wide receivers do we have off the board already?
We have Olave, Williams,
London, and Garrett Wilson. We've had 4 wide receivers
Sure.
go. I'm gonna have him go wide receiver here, and I'm gonna have, I guess, Treylon Burks going to the New Orleans Saints. You're up, Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Well, they don't get Malik Willis in this draft. Kenny Pickett does play for Pitt. It'd be nice for them, right? But I don't know how high they are on Kenny Pickett. And maybe they decide, well, if we miss out on Malik Willis, we'll wait a year and address the quarterback in 2023. Maybe let's build up the tackle spot. Well, there's no tackles. I mean, Penning would be a reach here.
I could see Penning, though, at this point. I could see Linderbaum.
Yeah. Man.
I think it's line or quarterback.
Yeah. But I don't know how much, like I said, I don't know much about like Pittsburgh and how much they're in on a guy like Kenny Pickett. I know they like Malik Willis. And again, you know this. We've talked about this, whether you're picking 20th or 5th. If you really like a quarterback, you take him. But if you don't take one to just take one.
Yeah.
They could also trade back here. That's possible. Man. Let's give him. Yeah, I think it'd be a reach, but the tackle spot, man, it's tough. Give him Penning.
I don't think Penning's a bad pick here. Yeah, I don't love him as a prospect, but I don't think it's a bad pick here.
Penning.
Penning to the Steelers, Patriots on the clock, and let's see who's left.
Jack gets yeah.
Let's see.
McDuffie's fallen down a lot in this.
I'll throw McDuffie in there for sure, and we know that they prioritize secondary there. We'll throw McDuffie in there. I don't think there's even a wide receiver we're throwing in there at this point for them. I don't
maybe
think
Pickens, maybe George Pickens.
Yeah, maybe Pickens. I don't think they're going wide receiver though. I'll throw them in there, but they very rarely even take a first round wide receiver. Let's see. Nakobe Dean, I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
here.
That does make a lot of sense. Definitely.
Nakobe Dean in, and we could throw Andrew Booth in as well, another cornerback possibility. I'm trying to think if there's maybe an interior offensive lineman, but I'll throw Andrew Booth in as well. Let's see what they think. Let's see what they think. Maybe they wish I put in a different option, but those are the 4 we'll go with.
We'll go with those.
And Williams, thank you very much, man. One more question, gents. I know Cross has poor run blocking ability, but since pass blocking is easier to reach than the run, is that truly a reason to pass? One more question, gents. I know Cross has poor run blocking ability, but since pass blocking is easier to reach, I mean, I don't know if it's easier to reach. I don't know if it's easier. Is it easier to become a guy? I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
I would actually think run blocking would be easier to.
Yeah,
obtain
generally speaking, offensive linemen love to run block. They hate to pass protect because you're on your feet. You're backing up in pass protection,
right,
rather than going forward. And generally speaking, most offensive linemen prefer to run block. But maybe I'm misreading what you said there, Williams. But I think if they're taking him, it's because they feel like he's the best pass protector. And yeah, that would be the reasoning. And they feel like he'd fit the scheme the best. And we got time. Says only 2 things to say. My Pels may be happy. Get rid of Zion and Charles. He wants Charles Cross. He's on board with it. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Your Pelicans have put up a great fight.
They did, and we'll see if they get eliminated tonight or if they can force a game 7.
Xerox says, I stand with what I said a few days ago. Nakobe Dean will be the best player from this draft. The guy's elite. Hope he lands in the AFC. Well, he might. Depends on this poll right now for this pick. So we'll see, Xerox. But you did say that, man. That was a hot take by you. We'll see. We're going to get to that poll in 1 second. We'll read 1 or 2 more of these. And then we're going to try to – hold on 1 second. MX, man, thank you very much. Exclusive report just came out that the Giants will not – yeah, we just heard about
no DeAndre Baker.
That's probably a good idea, MX.
It is. And
Fish Vegas is tripping right now. What, regarding Daniel Jones? I'm assuming, because I know he loves Jones not picking up the 5th-year option. I don't think there's anything to trip about. I think it's a wise decision, IJ. And I think I'm caught up. Let me just make sure. I think I'm caught up.
Yeah,
we are. All right, so let's see what the chat picked.
McDuffie looks like
McDuffie and Dean came in second at 30%, but McDuffie was pretty overwhelming there at 45%. So we'll have McDuffie go to the Patriots, which is a really good pick.
Yep, I think so.
Now the Packers are on the board, and a lot of wide receivers. The 5 wide receivers have already gone.
Yeah,
which may not happen tonight. by the way. We might have, maybe
Yeah,
there
of
was
course. This is our
one or
mock.
two, but the Packers need a wide receiver. We know that, and they're flying off the board. And at this point, you ask yourself, is it worth just picking one to pick one, or do you go for a potential better talent?
Is
I'm
Pickens there, or do we get rid of Pickens?
No, I think Pickens is there. I
Okay.
don't know if they would take him this early, but I think he's there. Um, it says offensive line's another need. I am not 100%. I know that they have obviously one of the better tackles in football. I don't know what their interior looks like. Overall, if they do need interior help, maybe I lean with going one of the guards here with like a Zion Johnson. If they need that, I'm not. It says offensive line. It doesn't specifically mention tackle or guard.
Right.
Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson. Maybe that's what I'm looking at here. I think that's where my head would be at if they need interior offensive line. I think Zion Johnson probably or Kenyon Green, potentially Linderbaum. Check Todd McShay. All right, I'll check that out in a second, Paul. These guys are trolls regarding what? We shouldn't have picked up option. Wide receiver? Yeah, but Saiga, I mean, all right, let's look at the wide receivers. I mean, and keep in mind they have another pick at 29. They could take Sky Moore, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson. I think that's what you're looking at there. But if I'm the Packers looking at those guys personally,
Yeah.
I think I wait till pick 29 to take them.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to reach for one there.
Draft wide receiver. I think I'm going to wait till pick 29 to take the wide receiver. I'm taking one with one of the two picks. I just don't think in this spot they would take him at 22. And Yvonne, man, thank you very much, man. If Sauce and Neal are both there at 5, who do you take first? I think I take Neal first, but it also again it depends on
who else is taking before us.
And yeah, if I feel like if it's Cross and Neal, if they're very close for me as a general manager, then maybe I make sure I get the cornerback first. But I don't.
If Sauce and Stingley are really close.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it all depends on
Neal.
And
so it depends if the Giants have on their board.
And you also have to factor in that Carolina last year took a cornerback in the first round, so they're probably not going to take him. But you run the risk of a team potentially trading up for that pick. But yeah, it depends on the board. Give them Linderbaum. All right, let's go. We'll go Linderbaum. We'll go Linderbaum. Arizona for you, Bad Dog.
Arizona, we're gonna definitely address the offensive line for them.
Zion Johnson.
I think Zion Johnson makes perfect sense for them at this juncture. I think that'd be pretty cut and dry. They'd either be going Green or Johnson. Johnson's probably the higher prospect, so I would give them to them. Look at the chat likes that they get to pick for the enemy again.
Yeah, they do.
Kenyon Green's got to be one.
Kenyon Green's got to be one. Kobe Dean has to be one.
Yep.
Kobe Dean. I don't think there's a tackle at this point that I don't. I mean, maybe Raymond, maybe Tyler Smith. They're not going receiver here.
No, it'd be tough for Dallas at this juncture.
Dean for I think it's one of those two players. I'll throw in another player just to because I picked the third option, but I think it's Green or Dean. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's Green or Dean.
Green or Dean.
I'll let you guys make that pick. And I'm sad about Fizz Vegas, but to me that was obvious. They couldn't pick up that 5th-year option.
Yeah, no way. Too many question marks.
Bad news for the Mets. I know Acuna's back. Mets. Green or Dean? Let's see who they pick.
Green or Dean.
Right now it is 56. Yeah, it's going to be Green. I mean, there's only 79 votes so far, but he's got a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I'm just in the poll. We're going to go Kenyon Green. It's grown even bigger. So we're going to go Kenyon Green. Here. Let's just scroll up real quick. Kenyon Green goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Buffalo Bills on the clock. I am going to go actually interior defensive line here. I've heard that that's a huge need of theirs. Their run defense. Devontae Wyatt had a really impressive combine. He's the other interior defensive lineman for the Georgia Bulldogs. That's what I'm going to do here for the Bills. I'm going to go Devontae Wyatt to the Bills.
Titans. Kenyon Green still there?
No, I think he's.
I took him out of there.
Actually, I think he is. Maybe. No, I think no.
No, we got rid of him. Okay, he's gone. I couldn't remember if he.
Let me just make sure.
He might have just went to Dallas.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. Boy, this is rough at this point. Centers are gone. Damn. Wide receivers.
Yep. I have a lot of wide receivers going, man, because you still got the Chiefs and the Packers.
I know. Man, that is tough. I don't really have. I mean, I'm looking at their needs, and again, what the hell do I know about the Titans?
Somebody said Tyler Smith is a big rumor to the Titans.
All right, let's go with that. That works. Whoever the hell that is.
He's been moving up mocks. So let's do that. Let's see. Tyler Smith goes to the Tennessee Titans. They need help on the interior part of the line. So
they do.
Bucks. We're gonna let the chat decide with the Bucks. I mean, the best player on the board, in my opinion, at this point is the Kobe Dean. So even though that may not be a huge need of theirs, he has to at least be considered. I know that they took a linebacker really early with Devin White a couple of years ago, but he has to at least be considered. So I'll throw his name in there in the poll. They have a ton of weapons at the wide receiver, so I don't think they would do that. Says they need help on the line, but there's been all the prominent interior offensive linemen have been hit. Defensive interior, we took the two best of Travis Jones. I'll throw him in there. He's at least a possibility. The Giants have brought him in for visits. He may, maybe it's a little early for him, but not that early. I don't know how much they need help in the secondary, but I'll start to throw Elam in there because I think he's a really good player. He's still on the board, the cornerback. And if you're the Bucks, I mean, you're a pretty complete team, so you're not necessarily just
true.
drafting.
You might just be going best available at this point.
You may be going best available. I'll throw Raymond in there, the tackle as well. I mean, we'll throw those names in there. We'll see what the chat decides, and maybe they come up with somebody better. But those are your options. You got to pick one of them.
Yes. And
Xerox says, Giants, I've been watching you both for a few Gents, rather. I've been watching you both for a few years now. I think that you do an amazing job. Please have a beer on me today. It's going to be fun.
I'm going to have a few today. We're going to cheat on the diet today. We're going to have a few tonight. Oh.
I can't see how Joe Shane messes this up. It's a win-win. I'm praying for Neil and Thibodeau, though. Let's go. I hope so, man. And thank you so much, Xerox, man. I really appreciate all the support, man. And Connor said, I think I threw in a corner, Alexander, so you can vote for Elam. He says they need a corner. It's an option. Connor says the Kobe Dean isn't going to go in round 1. He's too undersized. Heard it here first. Quay Walker is going ahead of him, maybe even the top 20. I saw somebody mock Quay Walker at 20, actually. So maybe he is a guy that creeps up.
Yeah.
Maybe he is a guy that creeps up.
Could be.
But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I know they already have a monster middle linebacker, so don't vote for him. But to me, he was probably the best player or among the best players on the board.
Yeah.
Kobe Dean is winning.
Yeah.
But if people don't think that makes sense, let's do Elam. If it doesn't make sense, we could do Elam. But Dean, I agree. That's why I prefaced it by saying Devin White's already on that team. So we'll do if Elam makes more sense, we'll do Elam. If that's what the chat thinks. I didn't put Booth. I meant to put Booth. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I screwed that one up.
Don't worry, Chris. Get have been screwing stuff up since 2018, so you're allowed.
We'll do Elam if it makes more sense. We'll do Elam there to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Packers on the board. I think they went line with their first pick.
Yeah, we were going to give him a receiver here.
Obvious need is wide receiver here. Now, they don't traditionally go first-round wide receiver, but it is a glaring hole for the Green Bay Packers. And Pete, man, thank you very much. McShay, Twitter, Giants looking to trade number 7. We've heard that all week, and I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if they do. We'll see. Dean falls to us. We better take him. Well, we'll see if he does. Packers on the clock here. Like you said, I think it's wide receiver. Let's pull up the options for the chat. Sky Moore, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson. I would say those are the 4 best options. You want to throw in a linebacker just for? Nah, I think they're going receiver. I'll give them the 4 options. Sky Moore, Pickens, Dotson, and we'll throw in Christian Watson. I'll let you guys pick between those 4. There you go. Make your pick. Let's see. Horny Tana. Guys, it's draft day. Try not to pee on your pants. I might have already done that.
I made it to the bathroom, so we're good. I made it to the bathroom. The bathroom.
It's pick your flavor at this point with the receivers. Well, we'll see what flavor you guys like. We'll see what you guys like.
It really is. I think you missed Bill's super chat.
Oh, did I miss one?
I think you missed Bill's, yeah.
Bill. Where are you? I got Pete, right? Yeah, McShay. Did I miss Bill? Oh, Bill. Oh, dude. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I missed a couple. Sorry, it skipped on me.
It does that with the StreamYard. It glitches a lot.
Let me get to Justin real quick. Sorry if I missed. I was 10 minutes behind trying to catch up. But did you see the talk about the 5th-year options? Jones? Yes, I did.
Yes, we did.
And I may, if I have an opportunity, I may make a video on it, give my full opinion on it. So it's a little bit more organized. But my quick opinion on it is that I think it was the right decision on both players. And we hit on that. We talked about that last time we were live. We said we would do it for Lawrence and we wouldn't do it for Jones. So that's what the Giants did. So I'm in agreement. I think it's the right choice.
Agreed.
Bill, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, man. Agree with Xerox. Cheers, boy. Bill's always been such a great supporter of mine. Always give me kind words. I remember Bill's like he said something that made me feel good one time when the Giants were playing really bad and the chat was getting on me. He's like, Chris, we need you, man. You're the
rock.
You're like the
I remember saying I need you because I'm the one that needs to be brought off the ledge. So
yeah, Zero. He said something.
Couldn't be going out like that.
He said a comment, something like that when things were like going really bad for the Giants. He's like, you're the shining light for this fan base, man. We need you, man. So it made me feel good. But Bill, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. All the support you always show on the channel. Connor says Nakobe Dean isn't going to go in round 1. He's too. Oh, I already read that. So I missed that. But I'm sorry I missed it. The skipped over chat. I didn't mean to. McShay Twitter, we got that. Let me make sure I'm fully caught up. Horny Tana, we read. What a name.
Yes.
And a kid called Chris. I'm just getting on a plane from Germany home to Scotland. Spend draft day with my 2 favorite Giants fans. Tackling edge / cornerback equals excellent first night. Shots on me if that happens.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's see what the chat picked here, by the way. And like you said, it's pick your flavor. Looks like Pickens. Pickens is going to get the edge here. 142 votes, 35% go to George Pickens. Relatively close on that poll, but we'll go with Pickens. And I think you're going to get to pick your flavor again coming up because I think the Chiefs, at least with one of their picks, are going wide receiver.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it tough on the chat. Actually, I'm going to make it tough on you. I'm going to take the wide receiver first since it's back to back. And I'll let you make the other pick for the Chiefs.
Let's look at the.
I really like for the Chiefs. I had him mocked there in my first mock draft. I think he fits what they're looking to do really well. He kind of can move all over. Is Jahan Dotson out of Penn State? So he's a guy I've had pegged to the Chiefs for a bit. He looks like he's kind of dropped down at least on PFF's rankings, but I could certainly see it, especially with all these wide receivers off the board. I think he's a good fit for the type of offense they run. So I'm going to go Jahan Dotson to the Kansas City Chiefs. And now you're up on the clock at 30.
All right. So they need a defensive lineman. Scroll down a little bit there. Petrie's still there, right?
Petrie's still there.
I mean, they need a corner. According to that, they need a corner.
Andrew Booth is probably the best corner.
I would say if Booth is still there, I would definitely. I think the Chiefs would take him. He's definitely the best value at 30. If I didn't even know he was there. I thought because we put him in a couple of polls, I thought he was gone.
Yeah, I think he's the best.
I would give him Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth. Those are 2 good picks for the Chiefs. Yeah. Cincinnati on the clock, and that's the chat. Let me just make sure I don't miss any of these, and then we'll let the chat decide the next pick. I think we got Alex is up next. We got a kid called Chris. Alex, man, thank you very much, man. Hey, guys, what if we trade back from 7 and take Malik Willis since DJ's days are numbered? Yeah, now somebody brought that up to me earlier. I don't think we're doing it. And I think if we really like Malik Willis, I think we're going to take him at 5. If you really like a quarterback, you don't mess around. You take your guy. You would run the risk of Carolina potentially taking him. So if they really like Malik Willis, if they're completely sold on a quarterback, they're taking him with the first pick. So that's what I think would happen if we were taking a quarterback, but I don't think we're going to do it.
Right.
But thank you very much. Laidback says, shout out to Bad Dog for grinding almost every day. Bad Dog, he's always doing the streams, man.
Shout out to you guys. and girls for always supporting all of our streams. We really appreciate it, man. We got one hell of a fan base here at the Giants, so we appreciate the hell out of you guys, girls. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to take this week off and do this, and maybe this is just a future vacation week for me. Is you know what? Because I usually take 2 weeks in a row, but maybe next year I just say to hell with it. I'll whatever. I'll make sure I take one of these at the end because I got to put in for it early on because seniority and all this other stuff with vacations. But from now on, maybe this will be the week I take off in April. Last week of April, we'll do this because this has been a lot of fun. I've loved doing this from 11 to 1. It is amazing how fast 2 hours go by in the middle of the day. But this is a lot of fun. You guys and girls are the best. So we really appreciate it. And we are ready for tonight. I'm ready for the night. We are going to have a kick-ass draft. We're going to get the Giants back on the right track. Ready?
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. So Cincinnati's on the clock here. I think corners a need. So you still have, if I'm making this pick, I think I'm picking actually there's not Daxton Hill could make sense here. I like Daxton Hill. He's kind of a versatile player in the secondary. I'm gonna throw
need a corner.
Yeah, he's more of a safety, but you can move him around. I like him as a possibility here. They need interior offensive line, but the better one's already off the board. I'm trying to see if there's another. We'll throw Quay Walker in there. Somebody mentioned him earlier as a possibility, as a guy that could be moving up mocks. We'll also throw Nakobe Dean in there. Chat's probably going to vote for him. And I don't think that there's an offensive lineman here worth taking with the guys that have already been off the board, but I could certainly see them taking one.
Yeah.
But because they need the interior and all the big guys are gone. I don't think they're going wide receiver. I guess I could throw Louis Sign in there, the guy from Georgia, who a lot of Giants fans feel like we could take. Maybe Petre. Could go in.
I'm looking at this board now, and I'm thinking for our second round pick, I'm like, we're set up, and if all those players are there, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'll throw an edge in there as well. Let me throw the guy from Penn State in there. We'll throw all those guys in there. I'll let you guys make the pick. Let me just catch up here with the chat as you guys make that selection. All defense there for the Bengals because there's not really a big-time offensive lineman there available. Let's see. Dre, what's going on, man? If you haven't already, join the entertainment. I got to promote that more in one of my future mocks. I'll promote that. If somebody has a wrench, if they want to post a link, by all means. But Dre, man, thank you so much, man. And H50 says, I'll be at the draft in Vegas. Let's go, Blue. Offensive tackle, DN. Let's go. Enjoy it, man. And Farrell, man,
have fun.
But have a great time. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. I actually saw pictures of the stage. It looks really cool, right in front of the Bellagio fountain. So
nice.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool getting to watch that on TV, man. But have a lot of fun. And Bob says, found you guys 2 years ago and love you both, and your content rocks. I mute the TV just to hear you guys call the game. Brought me back to love to watching football. Oh, man, thank you so much,
Thank you, Bob. It means a lot to us, man. We really appreciate that. That's awesome. That's
comments like that, man, mean the world. So thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, we love you guys. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And let's go over the picks and see where they're headed. Looks like Dean's in the lead. Daxton Hill. I personally would probably pick Hill here to Cincinnati, but we'll let the chat decide. Looks like Dean's going to be the pick.
Dean.
According to the chat. So we'll do that.
Dean of the day.
I don't know. So I know they need help in the secondary, and I know they obviously need help with the interior offensive line, but the big guys are off the board. He's in the lead by a decent amount, so we'll go to Kobe Dean. And then I'm up. I'll make the last pick of the first round for the Lions. And I think this is a spot they could go quarterback.
I was thinking the same thing.
And I'll do that.
Let's see if we pick the same one.
I mean, it's either Ritter or Sam Howell, who had a good pro day, starting to move up. I'll go Ritter.
That's what I was going to pick. See?
I'll go
As
Ritter.
Always.
I'll go Ritter. I'll go Ritter to the Lions. And we won't even do the second round, but we'll just go over like the possibilities. Let me just end the poll real quick. We'll go over the possibilities that the New York Giants could potentially take now if this scenario were to play out. Zeke, man, thank you very much. Let's freaking go. You know who I want, but regardless of the players, they will come in and help turn this thing around. Let's go, Giants.
Damn right, Zeke. Let's go, baby.
I have the same mindset, man. Regardless of what they do, I'm going to root my ass off and hope that the Giants, make the right decision. But in terms of like who the Giants could potentially take in this spot, I mean, we end up.
Safeties, really, I'm thinking Sign is one of them. Brisker is one of them.
Yep.
The edge rusher
Petrie.
from Penn State, right?
And Petrie, too, is another safety.
Petrie. So that's what I'm saying. If this set up this way, Benito's there as well.
Leo
If
Chanel.
this set up this way, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'd be
Even
happy with
Alex-
any of those guys.
It's a little bit of a reach, but I
Quay
like his
Walker's even there.
Yep. Drake Jackson, I like. It's a little early for him, though. Quay Walker. So, David Ajabo.
Yeah.
You got options.
Yes.
It's not like the dream scenario where one of those interior offensive linemen drop, but they've got some pretty good options there. 5-6 names there, and we're picking fourth. So one of those guys will be there, when we be on the clock. And I think that's pretty realistic. I think that's probably what we're going to be looking at. But I would bet the house that one of these guys that we had going in the first round, maybe even a guy as high as 20, is going to be on the board in the second round. It happens every year. There's going to be a surprise player that's still on the board that day 2 we're going to be open falls to the New York Giants.
Right, like McKinney did.
Yeah. Did we take a corner in this mock? We didn't, right?
We did not.
So maybe potentially a corner as well as a possibility with that pick. And this could be a situation where, like I said before we started the mock and when we were talking, I could easily see the Giants trading back up for a guy like Elam with Florida, who I think would fit our scheme really well. He's a press corner. He's 6'2". If he falls to the 25, 26, 27 range, he's a guy I got my eye on tonight. If we don't go cornerback with one of those first 2 picks, is a guy we could potentially trade up to acquire. So Giants will have options. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
This one a little bit longer because we let the chat get involved, which I want to do. I like to be interactive.
Yeah.
I like to give them an opportunity to have some say, but I think we got to do the Eagles draft.
Oh, we have to do that. No way. There's no way.
I think we got to do the Eagles draft. We got to do the Eagles draft, Bad Dog.
We got to do it.
How many rounds do you think we should do for the Eagles?
I don't know, 4.
All right, let's do 4 rounds for the Eagles.
4 rounds. Because they got a couple first-round picks, right?
Yeah. Let's do 4 rounds for the Eagles. Let's reload this page real quick. And we're gonna give the Eagles, we're gonna be as fair as we can. We're gonna be as realistic.
We're gonna do everything we think Howie's gonna do tonight.
I think this will be realistic. Now before we start it, let's enter the draft. Team needs for the Eagles. I'll start. Long snapper.
Always. That's every team's dream.
Backup. I would say they could use a third quarterback. They could use a punter. They could use a kicker. They could probably even use a backup kicker.
And a backup long snapper, because if they go down, what do you do? Position. You need insurance for that.
You need depth there.
Yeah, a lot of depth.
So the first thing I'm thinking about, and let me pull this up real quick for Blake. Thoughts on Calvin Austin III? Yeah, I mean, there are so many guys in the 3rd or 4th round, but yeah, he's a possibility for sure, Blake. And Orphanage DeGrom says, time for the Eagles draft sponsor.
Yeah, that was his idea last year, and it's a good one. So that's a staple of the day.
So the first thing, Bad Dog, before we even start, if I'm the Eagles with as big of a need that punter, kicker, long snapper are, you got to consider trading up to pick number 1.
I think you do, because you can't. I don't think there's any way you don't.
And what does it take to move up to 1 with the Jaguars? Let's start it. Let's go pick number 1. Eagles are picking at 15 and 18, so I think you start there.
Yes, and you probably have to give up your 2 first rounds next year as well.
2 first rounds next year, and I might even go as far to say first round of 2024.
I don't think they have to give up that much. Maybe the New Orleans round 2 pick in 2024. We'll get it done.
Okay, round 2 pick.
I don't know if you may need to offer a little more, but maybe Jacksonville accepts that.
Let's see if they do. Let's offer the trade. Holy crap, they accepted it.
Wow. That's why Jacksonville is where they are. They don't know what they're doing.
Wow. So the Eagles were able to get the first overall pick in this draft. They gave up 15, 18, their 2 first-round picks at 20. They got a steal.
They did. They're going to get the best long snapper on the board.
Wow. Okay.
I can't believe Jacksonville went for that. What suckers?
Let's start the draft. And first pick, Bad Dog. I mean, I think you have to meet best available player with need here if you're the Eagles. And when you look at the board, you traded all the way up to first. I don't go by what PFF says. PFF says the Eagles' biggest needs are linebacker and DB. I don't agree.
I know.
Their special teams last year were ranked dead last.
Yeah.
You have to address the long snapper, punter, or kicker.
Got to.
So let's look into it.
Let's take a look at it.
Let's go to special teams. So important, such an overlooked facet of the NFL. Now, a lot of people say Matarreza.
Yeah, but
I
you
don't
know what?
know.
I heard he doesn't like Philadelphia. He thinks cheesesteaks suck. And he says the city smells like vomit, and he wouldn't play there. He said if they drafted him, he would not play. And that's how much he hates Philadelphia. He wouldn't even play for first overall pick money. And he's like, I'll forego the draft, and I'll come back next year. Like he said he'd go play in the USFL before he played for Philadelphia. I heard that from a legitimate source.
And the other thing I heard is they want to go hometown kid. So I look at it here. I see Cal Adamas, who's one of the best long snappers in the history of collegiate football, out of Pitt. So he gets to stay home. He gets to go to Philadelphia. The Eagles, if this happens on draft night, I'm going to hate having to watch Eagles fans react.
I'll tell you what, I might actually rage if they were able to get Cal Adamas with the first pick.
He's got such great form on the way that he's able to snap the ball.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The spiral that comes out of his hand, the velocity and the accuracy. It can't be understated how much of a big-time prospect Cal is.
Man, I don't even want to hit the draft button.
I know.
This is going to hurt.
Do what we got to do.
So the Eagles get a long snapper. Wow. All right, next pick coming up, guys. Next pick coming up. I think that's a steal, Nona.
I do too. I mean, well, they got their long snapper. Now they're going to need a kicker. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And you know, Chris, we saw another hometown kid from Penn State. That was the punter. So I think we have to look at the punters.
Good call.
Yeah, I mean, it was you know, keep it within the state all the way down there. I saw them. I think they have this reversed. I think this is the reverse rankings PFF. But I mean, Jordan Stout. I mean, he's a Penn State kid. He's a punter.
Yeah.
You get him together with Adamas. You got a Pitt guy and a Penn State guy, and boom! They go to Philadelphia. I don't see how they could. Number one, I don't think Stout will be there at 51.
No.
This is lining up perfect for
Philadelphia. This is dumb. He's not going to be there.
It's sick. It's sickening to me. It makes me sick to my stomach, but I think we have to give them Jordan Stout.
I hate to do it.
Yeah.
But now they got a snapper and a punter. So they're up to a great start.
They really are.
And now they're on the clock again at 83. And I think you got to go for the trifecta. You need a kicker.
Yes.
Right? I think you have to.
I agree.
So let's take a quick look at the kickers that are available for the Philadelphia Eagles. You got, the first guy is Cameron Dicker. I mean, that's a good name.
It is. Dicker the kicker. He broke my heart at Oklahoma.
Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker. That's his real name. That is his nickname. Seriously.
Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker.
I don't know if you could pass that up with a nickname like that.
I don't think you can either.
Let's just keep going. Let's take a quick look. You've got Camarda. You've got Andrew Mevis.
Gabe Burkich is a hell of a kicker too. I can vouch for that. Burkich can kick the ball. He's a very good kicker, Gabe Burkich.
But you got to go with Dicker, right?
I think so. I mean, yeah, Dicker the kicker. I mean, it's perfect for Philadelphia. A lot of their fan base are Dickers, so. I love you, Philly. I love you.
Dicker the kicker. I like this pick for the Eagles.
I do too.
So now they got the best special teams in football.
Now I think we have to start looking at backups.
You got two more picks here, so you got to take that into account. You've already addressed the three most important positions on that Philadelphia Eagles football team: kicker, punter, long snapper. I wish there was a section on this because they may go for like a gunner here to continue to address the special teams. Right. But like you said, man, depth is important in the NFL.
Very important. Because if you lose your kicker, where are you? You don't want your punter having to kick extra points. So I think you might have to look at another. I mean, special teams is so important. Stonehouse is just a great name.
That is a good name.
That's a good one. I mean, because again, you got Dicker and Stonehouse. I mean, that'd be great. But I'll tell you, man, this Trenton Gill out of NC State. I mean, he can punt the ball. I mean, once I saw him punt it backwards 60 yards, just joking around.
Right, of course.
So it was pretty amazing. He can punt with both feet. I think we had one of them last year.
Yeah, we did.
Depending on the wind and the direction and the velocity and all the other analytics that go into football, you got an ambidextrous punter.
But the thing I like about Blake Hayes out of Illinois, Blake Hayes, what I like about him, he's missing 6 toes. which is impressive for a punter to be able to do that. You have to take that into consideration.
That's right. I mean, that's true. I mean, a guy that has 4 total toes. And listen, you know what? Let's give them Blake Hayes because Philly 500 hates feet.
He does.
So the less toes the punter has, the more he'll like him. So let's make Philly 500 happy and give him a 4-toe punter and Blake Hayes. I think it's perfect.
So we got 4 toes Hayes going to the Eagles there as they get their backup punter. And Adam says they are a quarterback factor. You want to give them a quarterback for the last pick? They could use another one.
I think it's probably not a bad idea. Maybe we should give him a quarterback.
Let's go quarterback. You got Bailey Zappi, but he's, to me.
Well, he's in real life, he'll be gone by now.
Right.
I mean, Dustin Crum. I mean, that's another one. Crumb bums, Dickers. You know,
Dustin Crum is a great name.
It is Crumb Cake.
He went to Kent State. Crum. I think we're going with Dustin Crum.
Yeah.
So not
Ashes.
I'm going to go with Crum. So not only, Bad Dog, did we get this good of a draft board for the Philadelphia Eagles. First, look over that. We also were able to do so by giving up their 2 future first-round picks next year and an additional second-round pick.
Correct. Yeah, that was a steal.
So,
I'm sure we're going to get a very high grade on this. It'd be hilarious if PFF came back and said, this isn't even real. Like, they're taking a long time to analyze this. They're probably saying, how did they get such a good draft?
PFF is they've never seen a draft this good.
They haven't. They don't know what to make of it.
Usually this draft, it comes right up, but they're just like, we're blown away. Like, how did we not think of this?
Yes. Either that or they're going to come back and go, you guys are Giants fans. You know what the hell you're doing.
I think we broke PFF.
I think we did. PFF has never seen a draft that high of a grade. And because there's nothing higher than an A+.
Like, if you go to PFF right now, you probably can't use the mock draft simulator.
I think the Eagles had such a good mock draft that we broke the whole website. That's amazing.
PFF ceases to exist, guys, because of the draft that we just
correct. So if you're trying to do a PFF mock draft today, blame the Eagles if it doesn't work.
So there you go. I mean, it was so good that they couldn't even come up with a letter for it.
Couldn't even do it.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So there you go. And I hope right on draft night that does not happen.
I am hoping like hell that does not happen because they might win the next 50 Super Bowls.
They will always have the best special teams. There's no doubt about it. L Service says, how funny is it going to be when the Giants draft Dicker? Who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe we take. I mean, I hope. I mean, he's that good. I'm surprised the Eagles got him where they did.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. The kicker the Giants are going to get. I told you, Jake Camarda, undrafted free agent.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be.
We'll see. We definitely could use it. We definitely could use a punter. Guys, we're going to close this out in a couple minutes, but I always have fun doing these with you guys. Yeah. We're going to make this a staple every year where we're doing Eagles mock draft at the end of it, but had so much fun these last 4 days. Of course, we're going to be on Bad Dog Channel tonight for day one. Hopefully we have great reactions in a positive way, and we end up getting the players that we all want. I can't wait for the draft. Can't wait to do it again with Bad Dog, and let's go for it, man. Let's get Sauce and Neal or
Tibbs and Neal, and I think defensive and an offensive stud, man. That's what we want.
I think we'll all be ecstatic tonight if that comes to fruition, and we're gonna be live. Bad Dog's gonna start at 7. I had a prior engagement that I said I would go on the guys' channel for a half hour, so I'm gonna be there for a half hour. I'm gonna pop on at 7:30. Draft will probably kick off at about 8:15. I know it says 8, but the first pick will probably be 8:15, 8:20. So we'll hang out with you guys for a while before the draft. And yeah, man, let's get what we're looking for in this draft. I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up. I had so much fun today, and gonna have a lot more fun tonight.
Hey, we had a lot of fun this week. Appreciate it, definitely. Yeah, I'll be live at 7, like Chris said. He has a prior engagement. I'll get it started. You know, I'll have my brewskis. You guys are 21 and over though. 21 and over. Okay. Yep. 21 and over, you know, you get your nice cold adult beverages going. We'll get primed. We'll get ready to go. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Joe Shane and company is going to turn this thing around. We're going to get who we want. This is going to work out for once. We're going to walk out of day one going, yes, love it. This has been an awesome week. I've had a lot of fun, and it's really just beginning because now the big time's here. So hopefully you guys and girls, 7 o'clock, you know where to be. My channel. Come on over there. We'll hang out for probably 5 hours. I think it's about midnight. And
Probably about that, yep.
we'll be very happy. And then we'll do it again on Chris's channel on Friday and Saturday. Always looking forward to hanging out with you guys and girls. The best subscribers and supporters on YouTube are you guys and girls. And the Giants fan base is the best in the world, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I saw Jai say 20 and over. She's almost there. All right, 20 and over for you. You could come, but
I'm just not promoting it. What you do, you do. You do whatever you do. But I'm me, as a guy who's 21 and over, but
you do what you get. If you got a fake ID, you chalk your ID a little bit. We'll let you in.
I just turn my blind eye. I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know how old anybody is in there.
And DeGrom, man, thank you very much. Philly values their 7th round pick, especially the later ones. I would have given up all the 2022, 2023, and 2024 picks. I agree. I think we left the Eagles off the hook with that trade, but we were feeling generous.
That's true.
For them to be able to move up by only giving up that and getting themselves a long.
I can't believe Jacksonville took that.
I mean, that's why, like you said, Jacksonville is where they are.
That's true. That's why they draft first every year. Freaking accept trades like that.
But guys, we're gonna close it out. We're gonna see you really soon. It's 1:41. Bad Dog's gonna be live at 7. I'm gonna pop on at 7:30, and we're gonna be there until like midnight. So
sounds good.
And I think it's gonna be a fun night. I don't think it's gonna stop at 5 and 7 because it's always for me. You're always excited for the possibility of trading back up, which I do think is a possibility.
Yep.
We may trade down, be picking later than you anticipate.
Yep.
And even if we don't, you're looking at that board. You're looking about which players may seep into day 2 for the New York Giants. So should be a lot of fun. Can't wait for it. And hopefully the New York Giants come out with an A+ draft.
Absolutely. So you guys go get something to eat. Go maybe take a nap and get ready for tonight. Because we're going to be live at 7 o'clock and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to get out of here. Thank each and every one of you for being here. It was awesome. And we'll see you in about 5 hours. The Entertainer Talking Sports, the Bad Diggy Dizzle. We gone. Peace.